Chapter 271. Something's not right. After passing through a few streets, those three people were still following him in the dark. Su Fang couldn't help but feel suspicious. The Celestial Bestowment Merchant Association should have a lot of spies in Celestial Treasure Royal City. There's no need for them to follow a disciple who is carrying out a mission like me. Thinking of this, he entered a restaurant, ordered some things, and waited in a corner. Soon, one of the three people following him entered the restaurant. The other two came in one after another and sat not far away. They also ordered some things. It seemed like he was leisurely for a while when he suddenly heard the three people moving. Su Fang saw them looking at the main entrance and also looked over. He actually saw a familiar face. Hua Daoying. Why would he appear here? I understand now. It's not the Merchant Associations spying on me. It's Hua Daoying who wants to make a move on me. In an instant, he understood. Don't disturb this person. Although he didn't expect us to kill him here, he is very cunning. Senior Brother Shui is currently rushing over. Hua Daoying and the other three sat down and whispered. Where should we make a move on him? Not in Celestial Treasure Royal City. Our sect has spies here. Fang Yu is carrying out a secret mission this time. If the sect finds out that we killed him, even the Crown Prince Society won't be able to protect us. At that time, Shui Qing and the Crown Prince of Great Qing will push us out to block the disaster. That's right. We should still wait for Shui Qing's orders. The four of them talked in private. Separated by a few tables and with people coming and going, Hua Daoying and the others thought that everything was flawless. They didn't know that Su Fang had already heard everything. The Crown Prince Society is very powerful. They were able to get the news of me carrying out such a secret mission. They were already waiting for me in Celestial Treasure Royal City and spread a big net. Putting down his wine cup, Su Fang's lips curled up slightly. He sneered for a moment, paid the bill, and left. As expected, the four of them split into two groups and continued to follow him on street. They were just 100 meters away. Shui Qing and the Crown Prince of Great Qing are also here. Su Fang was prepared to lure these people out of Celestial Treasure Royal City, since they had come all the way here and chose an unfamiliar continent to kill him. On the other hand, in this unfamiliar continent, wouldn't he be able to capture all these people in one fell swoop? It was not until they saw the city gates that Su Fang heard more footsteps. He secretly paid attention and found the Qing Kingdom princes. There were 9 of them, including Shui Qing. Among them, there were 4 imperishable disciples. The other 4 were in the Undying Realm. The Qing Prince alone was at the 10th level of the Longevity Realm. With this kind of power, it was more than enough to deal with a disciple in the Longevity Realm. However, it also depended on the person. The moment he flew out of the city, the 9 people followed closely behind. They were less than 1 li away. When they entered the forest region, 2 of the Immortal Realm experts were a step ahead. They activated their astonishing speeds, one on the left and one on the right. Su Fang purposely flew at a speed close to the Imperishable Realm. Not long after, the 2 Imperishable Realm disciples were already 1 mile ahead of him, maintaining the same speed as him. The 7 people behind him also maintained the same distance, still waiting to leave Heavenly Treasure Royal City. Today, I'm going to start a massacre. Su Fang sensed the encirclement in front and behind, and his heart was extremely cold. These people cannot be suppressed as slaves or refined as puppets. They have the aura of the Celestial Sealing sect on them, especially people like Shui Qing and the Qing Kingdom Prince. If I keep them on me, Prince Shui and the Qing Kingdom Crown Prince will have something to use against them in the future. I can only kill them and give their corpses to the 6 great commanders to cultivate. At this moment, Su Fang suddenly flew down to a valley below. It seems that Fang Yu wants to rest here. This valley is not bad. It's a good place for us to kill him. There were all kinds of voices in the air, but Su Fang only heard Shui Qing's voice. Just as he arrived at the valley and sat cross-legged in the forest, he heard the 9 great experts surround the valley. Cast a barrier and surround the valley first. With the rune barrier we cast together, it can't shackle a disciple of the Longevity Realm. The Qing Kingdom Prince proudly shouted in the air. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Su Fong heard a large number of runes fluttering around the valley and in the air. These runes all surpassed the height of the Undying Realm. In a short time, they formed a large sealing barrier. The strength of the barrier had already reached the 3rd to 5th layer of the Undying Realm. After all, the 4 great Undying disciples were all at the 5th to 10th layer of the Undying Realm. Especially Xueqing, his strength was close to the Yang Infant Realm. Suppress. A sudden long howl shook the entire valley. When Su Fong stood up, he released a layer of sturdy sealing barrier. He flew up in a panic and urged the Daluo Heaven Sword Qi to hit the barrier. Bang! It was like a mantis trying to stop a chariot. Not only did he not shatter the barrier, but the Daluo Heaven Sword Qi also shattered. He also lost his balance and almost fell to the ground. A proud voice penetrated through. Fong Yu, your time of death has come. This barrier has already reached the height of the Undying Realm. Your strength is at the Undying Realm, so you can't break it. Qing, Kingdom Prince. Su Fongda turned pale with fright. I didn't expect you to still remember my voice. Everyone, show yourselves. It's time to kill him. Then we can go back without any worries, or go to Heavenly Treasure Royal City to find some treasures. The Qing Kingdom Prince was proud of himself. Whoosh! A group of figures appeared in the barrier. There were 9 of them in total. They were Xueqing, the Qing Kingdom Prince, and Hua Daoying. The others also released killing intent. Hua Daoying. Su Fong retreated a few steps in fright. The 9 of them immediately flashed and surrounded Su Fong. Hua Daoying came to Xueqing's side. Fong Yu, you killed Yin Chongluo and publicly challenged the position of the Crown Prince Society. You should know that no one in the Immortal Sealing Sect has ever dared to publicly refuse the invitation of the Crown Prince Society. You are the first and the last. The Crown Prince Society will not allow someone like you to live. Su Fong's expression was uneasy. I just refused the Crown Prince Society. The sect forbids disciples from forming factions. I was just abiding by the rules. That offended the Crown Prince Society by killing Yin Chongluo. Did you see me kill him? If you have any evidence, hand it over, and I'll let you do whatever you want. The Crown Prince Society has supreme rules. You have to do whatever you're told to do. The Qing Kingdom Prince also came to Xueqing's side. And here I thought you were someone important. He snorted disdainfully at the Qing Kingdom Prince. The Qing Kingdom Prince looked at Xueqing. Elder brother Xue, let's kill him. He has quite a few treasures in his pouch. If you get any, you can sell them in Heavenly Treasure Royal City. Kill. That was the only word Xueqing said. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. In addition to the 4 Undying experts, the Qing Kingdom Prince and the other 5 Undying disciples flew out, forming a sword formation with the Grand Firmament Sword Qi. The power of the sword formation had already surpassed the Undying Realm and reached the Undying Realm. With this sword formation, even if Su Fong had unfathomable abilities, he wouldn't be able to block the sword formation released by the 5 Undying experts. After all, in the Sky Arena's ranking list competition, Su Fong's strength was about the same as the Qing Kingdom Prince, who was at the Undying Realm. Now, the Qing Kingdom Prince and the 4 Undying experts could kill Su Fong. Su Fong, this is the result of making an enemy out of us. Seeing that the sword formation was about to kill Su Fong, Hua Daoying said this with a cold smile. Whoosh! The sword formation, under the great force of the 5 people, rumbled down toward Su Fong. Su Fong had no place to escape, and his only option was to resist the sword formation. Qi! Qi! In an instant, the sword formation surrounded Su Fong and engulfed him. There was no intense resistance, as expected, as an immortal-level disciple would not be able to fight back under the Undying power. You just killed an Undying Realm disciple. Why did I have to come personally? Everything was destroyed by the sword formation. As a trusted aide of the Crown Prince faction, Xueqing had a high status. In his opinion, he had taken Su Fong's matter too seriously. 8 people could have done this. Why do you have to come personally? Hua Daoying took the opportunity to flatter, senior brother, after we get rid of Fong Yu, those people from the sect, as well as the disciples from the other 2 factions, will naturally know it was us who did it. We have to scare them. Whoosh! The last large amount of sword chi dissipated, revealing a 10-meter deep pit. Whether it was mud or rock, everything had been cleanly cut by the sword formation. There was no way the corpse was left behind. The Qing Kingdom prince looked carefully and shook his head. He's dead, but where's his empty pouch? Did he get sucked into the mud? Hua Daoying didn't believe it. We have to find Feng Yu's empty pouch. There are 2 high-grade Dharma weapons inside, as well as many treasures. We can't just come here for nothing. The Qing Kingdom prince was about to go down personally, but at this moment, a bone-chilling voice suddenly rose up. You think you can kill me like this? Feng Yu. He's not dead. The 5 people who had attacked were given quite a fright. Even Xue Qing's expression changed. He immediately raised his hand, indicating for them to hurry over. Swish! The 5 of them had just flown up when a beam of sword chi suddenly appeared. It was the Xian Guang released by a Dharma treasure. This sword was as fast as lightning, and it slashed past the 5 of them. Chi. Blood splattered everywhere. Other than the Qing Kingdom prince, the other 4 undying experts immediately fell to the ground. The Qing Kingdom prince was also about to lose his center of gravity, but as he fell, a finger grabbed his head. Xue Qing was incredibly shocked. Looking at the corpses, the 3 undying experts with him could no longer remain calm. They all released their undying auras. Careful, this kid isn't simple. Too late. Everything is too late. From the moment you came here to kill me, your heads were destined to remain here. Su Feng appeared. Under his control, the Qing prince's entire body was weightless as he was caught in his palm. The Qing Kingdom prince trembled as he stared at Su Feng. At this moment, he was filled with regret. That damn Feng Yu! Senior brother Xue, why aren't you killing him? Su Feng swept his gaze over the 4 experts. If you want to kill me, then why aren't the 4 of you attacking? Kill! Xue Qing waved his arm, and the 4 undying experts' auras collided. They released an earth-shattering aura that pounced on Su Feng. Puppet! Su Feng disdainfully smiled. Swish! Suddenly, a figure jumped out from behind Xue Qing and Hua Daoying. That figure held a sword, and it slashed down behind the 4 of them. Chi! Bang bang! This sword contained the power of a young soul. The sword Qi was unstoppable. Xue Qing and Hua Daoying's auras were directly crushed by the sword Qi. 2 of the undying experts at the front were severed at the waist by the sword Qi, instantly dying. As for Xue Qing and Hua Daoying, they fell to the ground. What undying experts! Under the power of a young soul, they were just 2 weak chickens. Seeing this scene, the Qing Kingdom prince seemed to wake up from a dream. He hastily begged for mercy. Feng Yu, don't kill me. It's all a misunderstanding. Hua Daoying bewitched me to kill you. Bewitching you? You don't have a brain. People told you to be a dog, but you didn't know whether to be a dog or not. Now you know regret and beg for mercy? It's your own fault for not having a brain. I, Feng Yu, was able to become a disciple of Frozen Moon Grotto step by step from an outer sect disciple to first place on the mortal ranking. You think I'm very lucky, don't you? My ancestor is the crown prince of the Qing Kingdom. If you kill me, you won't be able to escape. Puffed. The head of the Qing prince, who had just finished speaking, was forcefully removed by Su Feng. Chapter 272. Crown Prince of the Qing Dynasty. What a pity he's not here. If he was, I wouldn't have killed you. One of the genius's head was taken by Su Feng. Blood splashed in every direction, and the head fell to the ground. The head's large eyes stared at Xue Qing and Hua Daoying. Su Feng looked at the 2 of them and said, It's your turn. Xue Qing and Hua Daoying were terrified. They activated their Dharma treasures at the same time, especially Xue Qing's. It was a peak high-grade halberd. The 2 of them weren't afraid of Su Feng. Instead, they looked at the cold, sword-wielding puppet behind them. You have a young soul servant? Su Feng formed hand seals and pressed forward with the puppet. It's because of this puppet that I was able to kill Yin Chongluo. Now I can kill you. In the future, I can kill anyone who wants to kill me. Hua Daoying, You and I are undying experts. Let's work together to stop this puppet. Xueqing suddenly shattered his own medallion. He's already sent a distress signal to the Xue family or the Crown Prince faction, said Green Feather King. Su Fong clenched his fists. I won't give you a chance to live. Defend. Undying disciples were different. They were in a dangerous situation, but they knew how to kill their way out. Bang! Xueqing and Hua Daoying's Dharma treasures formed a sturdy defense. The puppet flashed. An array of sword light struck the defense. That sword light caused the surrounding mountains to collapse. However, it didn't completely shatter the defense. It only cracked a few times. Xueqing's strength was at the Yang Soul realm, and with a peak high-grade halberd, he was at least at the first level of the Yang Soul realm. Thinking of how powerful the Crown Prince faction was, Su Fong's killing intent burned. I don't have much time, and neither do you. Hua Daoying panicked. Senior apprentice brother Xue, a wise man, knows better than to fight when the odds are against him. Let's beg Fong Yu to let us go. Otherwise, we'll end up like the Qing dynasty's prince. You piece of trash, I can still hold on. The Crown Prince faction's experts will immediately come from Heavenly Treasure Royal City to help. We'll definitely be able to kill Fong Yu then. Well said. Hua Daoying, come out if you want to live. I'll give you a way out. Senior brother, hurry up and make a decision before your head falls to the ground. Hua Daoying was scared out of his wits by the corpses around him. The natural fear and weakness of human nature had completely crushed this immortal disciple's heart. Trash. Even if you die, you still have to persevere. You definitely can't yield to a longevity ant. Xueqing poured more spiritual energy into the halberd. The halberd, which had reached the pinnacle of high grade, emitted halberd shadows that fused together with the defense. Kill. Su Fong made another grab. The puppet paused for a moment as its aura condensed. The flying sword in its hand let out a shocking hum. It was also a peak high-grade magic treasure, but under the puppet's Yang Soul realm strength, its aura was 10 times stronger than Xueqing's halberd. Seeing such an imposing aura, Xueqing looked up to the sky and let out a long howl. He channeled all his power into his defense. Swish! Zzz, the puppet slashed out again. The sword chi split open the space and broke the defense of the crazy Xueqing and Hua Daoying, who saw death and fear. The remaining sword chi struck the halberd, which was also a high-grade enchanted artifact. Xueqing's eyes were bloodshot, and his arms were trembling. However, the halberd in his hand had blocked the attack of a 4th-level Yang Soul realm cultivator. Crazy! Hua Daoying was different. He was once more bleeding from his 7 orifices, and his magic treasure slipped out of his hand. He was powerless as he waited for death. Su Fong slowly grabbed the puppet. Prince Xue of the Crown Prince faction. They're all giants, and I'm just a longevity disciple. Well, am I without any background? In the future, Prince Xue will also end up like you. He'll be trampled under my feet. Xueqing trembled as he used his remaining strength to activate the halberd. Haha, keep dreaming. I admit I underestimated you. This time, I was careless. I lost. But you don't know how powerful the Crown Prince faction is. You don't know how powerful the Xue family's patriarch is. If you kill me, I'll never have a day of peace in the Celestial Sealing Sect. From the moment I stepped into the Celestial Sealing Sect, I've never had a day of peace. Everyone wants to kill me and take my treasures. But from now on, I'll kill you, my enemy. If the Crown Prince faction wants to kill me, do they have any proof that I killed you? Fong Yu, you'll die a horrible death. Xueqing once more entered a berserk state. His left hand suddenly slapped Su Fong, and a large amount of runes flew towards Su Fong like sword chi. An arrow at the end of its flight. Su Fong's gaze sank, and then he smiled mysteriously. Swoosh! A figure appeared in front of him. At the same time, a large amount of runes exploded with peak imperishable sword chi. Sword chi filled the entire valley, wanting to turn Su Fong into a beehive. Die! Xueqing took advantage of the runes and slapped his palm once more. A strand of sword intent appeared. Boom! Boom! Countless strands of sword chi with the power of the 10th undying heavenly layer flooded Su Fang's location. The ground around him turned to rubble. The collapsed cliff behind him, as well as a small part of the forest, were also turned to dust. There was no way a longevity disciple could survive. Is he dead? Hua Daoying seemed to see hope once more. He suddenly recovered his strength and stood up. Xueqing grabbed the sword intent in his hand. It had been frozen by the runes, so he didn't know how strong it was. I don't know, but he should be dead. He was arrogant. I don't know how he managed to obtain a Yang soul puppet, but it seems he still can't control it with his full strength. Otherwise, it would have already killed us. I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint you. These runes aren't enough to kill me. Amidst the destructive qi, fragments, and broken swords, a faintly discernible figure slowly approached. Hua Daoying shuddered. You're still not dead. This is a life-saving rune that my Shui family's experts specially condensed for me. I don't believe a Yang soul can't kill you. Xueqing decisively flicked his finger, and the sword image suddenly disappeared. Ring. The space in front of Su Fang suddenly shook and the space was split open. It turned out to be a silver-white sword light. No, it was countless sword lights that were slashing towards Su Fang. Su Fang's breathing stopped. This is a true sword art. The Daluo Heavenly Sword Qi is the pinnacle of a divine ability. Xueqing, it won't be easy for you to use this to save your life. You have good eyesight. This is a Daluo Heavenly Sword Qi Sword rune condensed by Yang Soul Realm expert of my Shui family. It can kill Yang Soul Realm experts from the first to the third stage. Even if your puppet can block it, you'll be heavily injured. And since you can't control the puppet, its speed won't be able to save you. Die. Xueqing stood straight. He didn't think he would die at Su Fang's hands. Whoosh! The moment the silver-white sword light descended, all of the aura in the valley transformed into sword images that filled the sky. It was as if countless figures were using the same sword art. The sword art seemed to have a mind of its own. This was the Daluo Heavenly Sword Qi, a true divine ability. Bang! Bang! When the sword intent descended, two figures suddenly appeared beside Su Fang. They stood under the sword images and waved their hands at the same time. They actually used their palms to slap the air and forcefully clamped the sword intent in front and behind. The sword intent also stopped in midair, unable to move down even a little bit. The valley was silent at this moment because the sword intent was forcibly suppressed by the two experts. Hua Daoying's eyes widened. Another two Yang Soul Realm puppets. We're not puppets. We're master's servants. Zhou Zuifeng and Xiahou Ling were still suppressing the sword intent with their palms, using their unparalleled strength to block the power condensed by the Shui family's experts. Boom! The puppet suddenly slashed out again, hitting Xueqing's halberd. The halberd was shaken away, and Xueqing's hair was disheveled. He retreated a few steps like a beggar, and his defenses were finally shattered. No, I'm a disciple of the Shui family. My ancestor is Prince Shui, the founder of the Crown Prince Society. He's also the future leader of the Celestial Sealing Gate. Xueqing looked up at the sky. He didn't look at Su Fang. Even now, he still didn't place Su Fang in his eyes. Unexpectedly, a blood blade took advantage of the puppet, Xueqing, and Su Fang's carelessness to stab into Xueqing's heart. Xueqing, I've tolerated you for a long time. Since you're destined to die today, why don't I send you on your way? It was actually Hua Daoying who had attacked. You. Xueqing had never imagined that Hua Daoying would attack. I've followed you for so long, 100 years. But you treat me like a dog. If you're happy, you give me a meal. If you're unhappy, you take it out on me. I'm also a disciple of the Celestial Sealing Gate. I'm also an undying disciple. Why do I have to be so respectful to you? Why do I have to endure the humiliation you've given me? Hua Daoying shouted hoarsely. His eyes were like a ferocious demon. Every time you kicked me, every time you slapped me, every time you laughed at me, I remember it clearly. I don't dare to forget it, and I can't forget it. I always want to step on you under my feet and watch you beg for mercy. I really don't want to kill you like this. I can't vent my anger, and I can't feel happy. You owe me this. Do you think I'm willing to work for you? I have my own goals, and I have my own dignity. Xueqing trembled as he resisted, but Hua Daoying's blood blade had already pierced his heart. You're still a dog in the end. Su Fong was very surprised. Looks like I've helped you today. If I'd known this would happen, I would have stuck to my own path. I wouldn't have tried to flatter you and rely on the Crown Prince Society. Pulling out his blood blade, Xueqing closed his eyes, but his hands still tightly held onto Hua Daoying. Pow! The puppet appeared behind Hua Daoying and pressed a finger against the back of his head. Fong! Hua Daoying's yuan spirit shattered, and his head drooped. Together with Xueqing, who had died at his hands, he stared at the blood-stained ground. Now I finally understand what dignity is. Su Fong sized up Hua Daoying. Then he thought of the countless slaves under his control. Even slaves had their own dignity. They had their bottom line. For example, even though Hua Daoying had submitted to the Crown Prince Society, he had still persevered. He still had that trace of ambition that was about to be extinguished. Swish! Swish! With a wave of his hand, the surrounding corpses were sucked into his palm. Zhuozu Eifeng, Xia Howling, use your flame to burn this place to the ground. Don't let anyone find any clues. Su Fong and the puppet flew away. Yes, master. After the two experts formed hand seals, a shocking flame shot out of their palms, burning the valley. In just a few breaths' time, the flame vanished, and the valley became a pile of rubble. There was no trace of bloodshed or battle. Let's go. Several people protected Su Fong as they left. About half an incense stick's worth of time later. Whoosh! Whoosh! Several experts flew above the valley under the lead of a young nascent soul expert. Search for their whereabouts. They're all important figures of the Crown Prince Society. The Crown Prince personally led the experts to search for Xueqing, the Qing dynasty's prince, and the others. Chapter 273. The Celestial Sealing Sect. The Celestial Sealing Sect was one of the 7 great grotto heavens, the misty grotto heaven. It was a place for young soul disciples and higher-ups to cultivate. There were many smaller spaces within the larger space. Every small space was a cultivation ground, which was also the cultivation ground of a young soul realm disciple. The Celestial Sealing Sect had used up a huge amount of spirit stones to build the Celestial Sealing Sect. Their cultivation speed was unimaginable. Kacha, in one of the Celestial Sealing sects, an old man in his 70s wearing a black hat suddenly heard a shattering sound coming from his body. Buzz. The moment the old man opened his eyes, a vast aura was suddenly released from his originally deep eyes. It was as if a huge mountain was pressing down on this space. Damn it! How long has it been since my Shui family disciple died? Who did it? He grabbed a large piece of Xianguang, which contained quite a few command medallions. There were tens of thousands of them. Those command medallions weren't made of ordinary materials. They were similar to talismans condensed from spirit marks, but they were different because they contained traces of blood. Xueqing, grabbing the command medallion, the old man suddenly stood up. How could it be you? With your undying 10th stage cultivation base and the Yang Soul talisman I left for you, nothing could have happened to you. Furthermore, you're a member of the Crown Prince Society. As long as we announce your identity in the celestial world, no one will dare offend the Shui family. Brother Lung, something big has happened. A middle-aged man's urgent voice came from outside the space. Junior Brother Qing. The old man grabbed at the space, and an illusory figure flashed. It was the Crown Prince of Qing. Just now, my grandson, the Crown Prince of Qing, lost his connection with the life talisman he left here. He should have died. The Crown Prince of Qing couldn't wait any longer. I also found that Xueqing's life talisman has been completely destroyed. The old man's aura was still like a mountain. They went to Starfish Heavenly Island together. It's impossible for them to kill a disciple called Fangyu. How could an immortality realm disciple kill them? So the reason I went to the higher-ups to learn about Frozen Moon Heavenly Abode was to investigate the actions of that Fangyu. I was ordered by the Crown Prince to take control of the huge Shui family. Xueqing was one of the geniuses who was favored by the Crown Prince, but something unexpected happened. Brother Long, we can't just watch as our family's disciples die. Of course, don't let the Crown Prince know about this, and don't tell any of the higher-ups. Go to Starfish Heavenly Island. If they're going there, they'll definitely be looking for members of the Crown Prince Society. If you find Fong Yu, make sure he's alive. I'll skin him alive. Then let's go to Starfish Sky Island immediately. We were too careless this time. We thought it was just a personal grudge between our subordinates. With the Crown Prince faction's power, there shouldn't be any accidents. The Crown Prince blamed himself endlessly. After saluting the old man named Shuelong, he turned and left the space. I was careless. A nobody like you dares to shake the Crown Prince Society? Shuelong turned around and walked towards the spell altar. Shuelong. Suddenly, a thought came out of nowhere and landed in this space. Crown Prince Ancestor. The old man immediately bowed, cold sweat dripping from his forehead. The voice said, "Just now, when I was in seclusion, I suddenly felt that my blood chi was being consumed abnormally. It must be one of our Shui family's descendants who died." Shuelong was shocked. Ancestor's divine ability. I didn't expect you to be able to sense things to such an extent. When one's cultivation reaches a certain level, they'll be able to grasp some abilities related to the heavenly perception technique. Furthermore, I've been studying the immortal bestowal scripture for many years. I've obtained the cultivation experiences of countless sect leaders. The more I sense the heavenly perception technique, the more profound it is. Who died? Shui Qing. It's him. The other party was shocked. I remember that when the spirit gourd was born in Tianhu Domain, the higher-ups of the sect told me to appear in Tianhu Domain to deal with the Supreme God sect and the Twin Immortal sect. At that time, Shui Qing was about to break through the undying 10th stage and enter the Yang Infant Realm. The Shui family would have another Yang Infant Realm expert. It's like this, hearing Prince Shui's anger. Shuelong told him everything he knew. Fong Yu. Prince Shui wasn't just shocked this time. He was even more surprised. You guys really shouldn't have gone to deal with this rising newcomer who's being valued by the Ice Moon Heavenly Paradise. Crown Prince Old Ancestor, could it be that you also know about this longevity disciple? I didn't know before, but a few days ago, the sect had an important mission to choose a suitable disciple. Naturally, I recommended the elites of the Crown Prince's party, but the Ice Moon Heavenly Paradise mentioned that disciple called Fong Yu. At that time, I didn't know that disciple, and the mission was difficult to complete, so I didn't recommend him to the sect. Later on, we confirmed Fong Yu and found out that he obtained the Wind and Fire dual spirit swords from the Ice Moon Heavenly Paradise. He also obtained the Barbarian Rune Divine Cauldron and the Rainbow Soul Absorbing Bell during the 100 Years trial. Moreover, he performed outstandingly in several missions. Last time, in Tianhu Domain, he also went on a mission and collected the spirit water of the domain that even the undying disciples didn't manage to collect. Most importantly, he's a special kind of person who can surpass his cultivation level. At the immortal 4th stage, he has the strength of the undying 4th stage, or even the 5th stage. He's a person who hasn't appeared in 10,000 years in the Celestial Sealing sect. Prince Shui didn't appear in this space, but it was as if he was there. His voice sounded from every corner. When I found out about this, I saw Fong Yu's potential. I heard Kai Feng talk about his cultivation in detail. In just a few decades, he broke through from the vast core realm to the 4th stage of the immortal realm. When Shuelong heard this, he was shocked. He stammered. Could it be that someone had given him enlightenment? Even if he hadn't, he would have been cleansed by other experts. That's why he was able to break through 2 cultivation realms in just a few decades. Prince Shui sighed. I missed it. This is fate. I could have recruited him into the Crown Prince faction. In the future, we would have gained a powerful general. Old Ancestor. The reason why Shui Qing wanted to get rid of Fong Yu was because he had invited him to join the Crown Prince faction. However, Fong Yu didn't put the Crown Prince faction in his eyes at all. Shui Qing was so angry that he wanted to get rid of him. Is that so? What a good longevity disciple. He looked down on our Crown Prince faction. Does he think that heaven and earth are so small? There are countless small worlds in the universe. This crown prince has roamed the universe for many years. I'm used to seeing such arrogant cultivators. Shuelong, since this Fong Yu dares to challenge our crown prince faction's bottom line, if there's a chance in the future, suppress him. Don't kill him. Let him be imprisoned and live in hell forever. Yes. Shuelong trembled and bowed. After a long time, there was silence again. Seastar Heavenly Island, Heavenly Treasure Royal City. Amidst the crowd, a pair of eyes looked down from the window of a restaurant. This is the intersection. According to the plan, I'll wait at the corner. Someone will give me the treasure. Su Fong had returned to the city. He didn't seem to care about what had happened. Killing a few people wasn't a big deal. His main focus was on how to complete his mission. Thinking of Yin Caifeng's words, he could see how important this mission was. If he couldn't complete it, he might really be punished by the Immortal Sealing Sect. And once he completed it, he would truly receive the attention of Frozen Moon Heavenly Paradise. Even if he killed Xueqing, the Crown Prince faction wouldn't do anything to him in public. For some reason, looking at the people below, he felt a sense of loneliness that didn't belong here. He also felt a kind of pressure that made it impossible for him to breathe freely. Perhaps this was the calm before the storm. Entering his room, he sat down and split his consciousness into the profound yellow space. Many thanks, Master. The 6 commanders, led by the Leech King, were currently looking at the 9 corpses. Before this, Su Fong used a divine ability to suck out the undying essence blood from Xueqing's corpse. He planned to use it for cultivation in the future before giving the corpses to the 6 commanders. He also looked at the 9 people's empty pouches. There were quite a lot of treasures. Xueqing's pouch even had a few high-grade magic tools. Taoist Feng Mo. Su Fong saw a few puppets in the empty pouches. One of them was actually Taoist Feng Mo. His memory suddenly returned to the scene at Lightning Flush Mountain, where he fought against unparalleled Thunder King Zhang Yunfei. Wasn't such an expert still in the hands of Hua Daoying and turned into a puppet? Unfortunately, such a puppet was useless in front of Su Fong. It could only be collected as an item. Taoist Feng Mo didn't expect that he would become a puppet in the end. Not long after, his divine sense returned to his main body. He tidied himself up and looked outside. He then untied his gray robes and walked out of the restaurant like a wanderer. When he arrived at the designated location, he looked just like an ordinary longevity rogue cultivator. He looked like a wandering beggar in the Heavenly Treasure Royal City. Looking at the 3 suns in the sky, it was almost noon. It was almost the appointed time. Su Fong remained undistracted. He didn't care what the treasures were, nor did he care about the conflict between the Immortal Bestowment Chamber of Commerce and the Myriad Treasures Path. He only needed to wait for the treasures to be delivered to him, and then find a way to return to the Crimson Firmament continent. Rumble. On the other side of the street, a violent explosion occurred in the city controlled by the Myriad Treasures Path. This explosion razed all the buildings within 1 mile to the ground. The pedestrians on the street ran away in fright. Some even flew up on their swords. Whoosh! A figure flashed through the panicked crowd at an astonishing speed. When Su Fong locked onto the figure, a masked cultivator had already handed over an empty pouch. Taking the pouch, the cultivator didn't say anything. He turned around and flew off on his sword in another direction. He's a powerful Yang soul expert. The Green Feather King was in the profound yellow space, paying attention to Su Fong's every move. It seems the Immortal Bestowment Sect has planned this mission thoroughly. They've analyzed every detail several times. Are you interested in the treasures inside the pouch? After putting away the pouch, Su Fong went to another street and followed the crowd to the city gate. He laughed self-deprecatingly. I'm interested. The Immortal Bestowment Sect sent me on this mission because they're not worried about me coveting the treasures. That means this treasure is beyond my understanding. Since that's the case, why should I take the risk of activating the pouch? If there's a problem inside when I return to the Immortal Bestowment Sect, I won't be able to escape responsibility. This treasure is too important. You've grown much faster than this king expected. Take advantage of the chaos to leave. A large number of Myriad Treasure Path experts have already appeared in the sky. They'll seal the city in a bit. There's no exit in the sky, so leave through the city gate. When he arrived at the city gate, he saw a large number of people rushing out. Although the city guards had forbidden anyone from leaving without a barrier, how could they stop these locust-like cultivators? Su Fong took advantage of this opportunity to mix in with dozens of people and break through the barrier formed by several experts. It was also at this moment that the moment they left the city gates, the entire royal city's enchantment was activated, covering the entire city like a pot lid. Where do you think you're going? My sect has ordered that no cultivators can leave for now. Come here and wait to be interrogated. They had thought that once they left the city, they would be able to leave freely. But they hadn't realized that a barrier had appeared outside the city. Tens of millions of myriad treasure path cultivators were controlling the barrier to block the cultivators flying out of the city. Chapter 274. Shit. Who would have thought that so many cultivators from the myriad treasure path would come so suddenly? Tens of thousands of people formed a huge formation, cutting off the world outside the city. His heart pounded, and the formation instantly condensed. A large number of cultivators were forced to gather on the ground, and even more myriad treasure path cultivators flew towards Heavenly Treasure Royal City. Su Fong did his best to hide his wildly beating heart. Just what kind of treasure is it? Why would the myriad treasure path send out no less than 100,000 disciples? After a while, the tens of thousands of cultivators merged with the formation of Heavenly Treasure Path. This world had completely fallen into the myriad treasure path's control. Su Fong finally understood what a great power was. This was not even the myriad treasure path Dao grounds, but a royal city. Yet the myriad treasure path could control it in such a short time. Even the immortal sealing sect's Grand Yuan City could not compare to this. You should be able to see the importance of the treasure. Even if it's just a high-grade immortal artifact or a king-grade immortal artifact, the myriad treasure path would not care so much about it. Furthermore, the myriad treasure path must have other methods. Now that they know you're hiding a treasure, they'll check everything in the bodies of the cultivators here. How will you hide then? I can only take advantage of the fact that the myriad treasure path is not prepared to kill my way out. In this situation, as long as you charge out, the other cultivators will charge out as well. They won't just sit here and wait for death. Also, you have some teleportation talismans. Once you get out, use them. Even if the myriad treasure path's experts catch up to you, it will only be a portion of them. Only by catching them off guard can you survive. Otherwise, once they find the treasure, not even the immortal sealing sect will be able to save you. It seems I have no other choice. He secretly chose a high-grade saber from the large number of magic treasures. At this moment, none of the surrounding cultivators were willing to wait here, but none of them were willing to take the lead. Be obedient. Wait for the higher-ups to arrive. Once they investigate, they'll let you pass. The crowd was in an uproar, attracting the attention of several myriad treasure path cultivators. Several undying and undying disciples descended from the formation, releasing an oppressive aura towards the crowd. Go! While the cultivators of the myriad treasure sect and the surrounding trap cultivators were in a panic, Su Fong suddenly jumped out from among them. He also covered his face with a black cloth and used his wings of fire cloud. In a flash, he collided head-on with several undying and undying experts. With a wave of his long saber, he took the opportunity to fly into the barrier through the gap. Boom! Su Fong's blade slashed down on the barrier. This slash did not come from Su Fong's own strength. Instead, it came from Mysterious Yellow's spiritual power. It created a big hole in the barrier. The barrier has been destroyed. The disciples of the Myriad Treasure sect did not expect that someone would dare to go on a rampage under such circumstances. They immediately let out a bugle call to the sky. Whoosh! Whoosh! Among the trap cultivators, there were also a large number of indestructible and undying experts. There were even Yang Soul Realm powerhouses hidden among them. They finally flew towards the boundary hole. The few cultivators from the Myriad Treasure sect still wanted to stop them, but under the pressure of the large number of cultivators, they were directly knocked away and trampled under their feet. groups of cultivators flew out of the barrier. The sect has ordered that anyone who dares to defy us will be killed without mercy. A large number of myriad treasure path cultivators caught up. Buzz. The shattered barrier was sealed once again. Thousands of cultivators flew out, but most of them were still trapped within the barrier. More than 10 Yang Soul Realm cultivators flew out from the barrier, each with a palm strike. They released countless palm strikes that pressed down on the cultivators who were trying to break the barrier and escape. The Yang Soul Realm powerhouses took the lead and quickly suppressed the situation. Outside the barrier, a large number of myriad treasure path cultivators split into small groups and chased in all directions. In the sky, even more myriad treasure path cultivators could be seen descending. It was as if a shocking battle was about to start. Rustle. Deep in the forest, Su Fong stepped on a flying sword and put away his fire cloud wings, flying towards the vast crimson firmament continent. He was constantly using his perfection stage ability. He could not help but frown. The myriad treasure path cultivators are coming too quickly. Not good. There's also movement ahead. Could it be another myriad treasure path powerhouse? It did not matter if he did not listen. Now that he heard it, not only were there pursuers behind him, there was also movement ahead. In an instant, he flew to the top of a tree. Sure enough, in the air, a few kilometers away, more than 100 myriad treasure path experts were waiting there for the cultivators who escaped from Royal City. Teleportation talisman. There are so many experts, and there should be Yang Soul Realm powerhouses as well. Even if Su Fong had the puppet and Mo Fong Jun, it was impossible for him to fight against so many experts. If there were only a portion, he could still deal with it. However, when the situation was not good, he had to stay calm. He could not take out his life-saving methods so quickly. He had to deal with it as long as he could. He opened his palm, and hundreds of teleportation talismans appeared. These were all treasures collected from the experts he killed, and they were all teleportation talismans for 50 kilometers. He immediately crushed one of them. Chi! A storm suddenly appeared in the forest. Su Fong was sucked into the deep space by the storm and disappeared. Just 3 breaths later, a distorted aura spurted out from above a majestic mountain range. Su Fong stepped out and looked back. He immediately smiled. Green Feather King shouted, "Kid, why don't you continue using the teleportation talisman? This is still the myriad treasure paths territory. There are all kinds of formations here at all times. Moreover, if you use the teleportation talisman, you should have left behind a subtle aura in the various formations. There should be experts who will find you in the myriad treasure paths territory. How can they find me in such a vast land?" Su Fong could not believe it. Of course, you don't know how much effort it took to build the foundation of a dojo. Do you think that the Myriad Treasure Paths Dojo or the Heavenly Treasure Royal City has a large number of formations hidden in the dark? You're completely wrong. There are many subtle formations under the ground and in the air. Almost all of them are sensing and attacking formations. The attacking formations won't be activated unless there's a force attacking the Myriad Treasure Path in the future. However, the sensing formations can be activated at any time. You've broken through from the Royal City. Crushing the teleportation talisman is equivalent to passing through layers of formations. Naturally, the Myriad Treasure Path will be able to sense you. It's only a matter of time before they find you. Why was I able to escape from the Supreme God Sect's territory when I was in the ruins of the Spirit Sect? The ruins of the Spirit Sect are a place with complicated energy. The Supreme God Sect could not have spent so much effort to arrange these formations. Moreover, the Supreme God Sect did not want to find you for a pill formula. This time is different. The Myriad Treasure Path has sent so many cultivators. They must be looking for the treasures on you. Hearing this, Su Fong's heart skipped a beat. It turned out that the seemingly peaceful land was already full of dangers. Crack! He crushed another teleportation talisman and used its power to travel again. You have to look at the map. If you continue running in a straight line, the Myriad Treasure Path will soon catch up to you. See if there are any natural barriers. Go there and use them to fight for a while. The faster you run, the more the Myriad Treasure Path will suspect that the treasure is on you. After a few breaths of time, he arrived above the territory of the forest. Receiving Green Feather King's reminder, he quickly took out the map and compared it. In the depths of the forest, there was a natural barrier called the extraterritorial secret domain. The extraterritorial secret domain was no longer the territory of the Myriad Treasure Path. It was a complicated territory. So, it's the extraterritorial secret domain. Let's go there. Green Feather King was very sure. The extraterritorial secret domain is the most terrifying natural barrier of the Starfish Heavenly Island. It's an inland sea with many islands, forests, and mountains. I don't know why, but those islands, forests, and mountains in the inland sea are constantly changing positions. I heard that the water of the inland sea is connected to a certain space in the Earth's core from underground. Thus, it produces unpredictable natural forces, making it easy to get lost in there. Senior, have you been here before? Of course you have been to the extraterritorial secret domain. This king has been to any natural barrier in the Zhuotian world. In order to collect all kinds of treasures and use them as cultivation resources, as well as to improve his strength, he went to the extraterritorial secret domain. When you go there, the disciples of the Myriad Treasure Path can only chase after you in 2s and 3s. Okay, he crushed another teleportation talisman. After losing his center of gravity, he seemed to be in the air somewhere. Then, he crushed another teleportation talisman and continued to travel. After crushing dozens of teleportation talismans, he not only left the Myriad Treasure Path's territory, but also came to a more spacious world. Buzz, just as he was about to crush the teleportation talisman, some Tao runes from the heavenly fate life, shrinking art, appeared in his mind. The Tao runes appeared abruptly and disappeared abruptly. However, as they disappeared, a few Tao runes flashed in his mind from time to time. It must be the big shots of the Myriad Treasure Path. They must be using a sensing technique to find my location. Looking back, he saw that the Myriad Treasure Path's experts could come at any time. He immediately crushed the teleportation talisman and continued to chase after the extraterritorial secret domain. Now that he had left the Myriad Treasure Path's territory, Su Fang's chances of escaping were getting higher and higher. An incense stick's worth of time later, after crushing dozens of teleportation talismans, in just half an incense stick's worth of time, Su Fang appeared in the air above a body of water that looked like a lake. This was the outer region of the extraterritorial secret domain. Green Feather Monarch introduced. The extraterritorial secret realm is also known as the Water Domain Secret Realm. In the past, this place was called the Water Domain Secret Realm, but later on, the various continents and small worlds began to refer to it as the extraterritorial secret realm. Whoosh, whoosh. As soon as he arrived in the extraterritorial secret domain, he heard a shocking sound behind him. Turning his head, he saw a distorted shape in the air. There were dozens of figures inside. The Myriad Treasure Path's experts. Su Fang stepped on his immortal sword and flew toward the depths of the water secret domain. A domineering shout rang out. The cultivator in front, you flew all the way from the royal city to the extraterritorial secret domain. You should have obtained a treasure that belongs to my Myriad Treasure Path. Hand it over, and we'll let you go. Do you think that just because you're in the extraterritorial secret domain, our Myriad Treasure Path can't do anything to you? It's a young, nascent soul expert, and not an ordinary one. There should be several young, nascent soul experts, warned the Green Feather King. Su Fang hastily flew toward the depths of the extraterritorial secret domain. At this time, he saw a strange phenomenon. The originally calm water would occasionally form shocking whirlpools. Each time a whirlpool appeared, the fog above the water would form a shocking airflow that completely blocked his line of sight. Flying out of the fog, he saw that the island had turned into a mountain range. Furthermore, it was surrounded by undulating mountain ranges. The island could indeed move, and the speed of its movement was too shocking. Being able to instantly move the island and change the illusion was something that humans couldn't do unless they were immortals. No wonder this place was called a natural barrier. Heavenly Union and Longevity cultivators couldn't come here. Once they entered the depths, it would be difficult to find their way out. Divide into several groups and search the islands and mountains. Our sex experts are already waiting outside the extraterritorial secret domain. They can coordinate with us at any time, capture any cultivator. It seemed that not far behind them, the thunderous roar of the young nascent soul expert from before could be heard. Chapter 275. Sufang continued to fly for a while. During this time, he did not find any changes in the water. Just as he was looking for a place to hide, a few astonishing whirlpools appeared on the surface of the sea. With the experience from last time, Sufang immediately flew to a mountain peak this time. At this moment, he saw the whirlpools on the surface of the water and the nearby mountains and islands changing positions at an astonishing speed. They were almost moving horizontally, faster than a teleportation talisman. A moment later, everything changed. A few isolated islands replaced the previous mountains, and he could no longer sense the myriad treasure paths experts. This is really an excellent natural stronghold. I can hide here for a while. Arriving at the mountain peak, he found a cliff and entered the Xianhuang Six Paths Pagoda. The pagoda shrunk to the size of a finger and hid among the rocks. Even if the myriad treasure paths cultivators could find him, it would be a long time later. He had a king grade artifact in hand, so he could hide invisibly. Those undying and imperishable cultivators would not be able to find him, unless they were young, nascent realm experts. Search carefully. After an incense stick's worth of time, 3 myriad treasure paths, imperishable realm experts, arrived at the mountain peak. They formed a triangle and began to search for cliffs and forests. Sufang was using his full circle ability. Through the Xianhuang Six Paths Pagoda's connection with nature, he quickly grasped the situation within a few li. There's nothing here. Let's go to the next mountain. After several hours of searching, they still did not find the Xianhuang Six Paths Pagoda. The 3 imperishable realm experts went to the next mountain peak to continue their search. It's too early to be happy. You can't hide here forever. The myriad treasure path can't find you now, but it doesn't mean they won't find you in the future. If they know you're hiding here, they'll send experts to hide around and search for you until you show up. Coming to Green Feather King's side, a few commanders came over, as well as Mo Fengjun, Zhua Zuifeng, and Xiahou Ling. Sufang said confidently, "The myriad treasure path disciples are in high spirits right now. Let them capture all the cultivators who are searching for treasures. They'll definitely relax for a while, and then we'll escape. Moreover, the myriad treasure path might not be certain that the treasure is in my hands. There should be a large number of young nascent realm experts who escaped from Monarch City. They'll attract the myriad treasure path's attention more than me." "Are you really not interested in treasures?" Green Feather Monarch asked with a smile. "I'd be lying if I said I wasn't interested. I'm afraid that the treasure I have is even more important than a royal-grade magical weapon. I wonder what kind of treasure it is for the Celestial Sealing School and the 10,000 Treasures Path to care so much about it." After he finished speaking, he ordered the 3 servants and the 6 commanders to disperse. They thought that Sufang wanted them to go out and fight with the experts of the Myriad Treasures Path. Sufang also sat down cross-legged and urged the mysterious yellow sword to absorb the spiritual qi in the air. He could quietly cultivate here for a while. Unknowingly, several days passed. Several young, nascent soul cultivators from the 1,000 Treasures Path floated outside the extraterritorial secret realm. I really don't know what kind of treasure it is for the sect to make such a big fuss. This time, they've offended quite a few factions. Since the sect wants us to capture him, we'll capture him. He's an opponent with some tricks up his sleeves. He fled from the royal city and hid himself without a trace. We have to use a sensing formation and wait for him to show himself. He can't be hiding here forever. Several experts gathered together to discuss how to find Sufang. Why don't we have an elder send a strand of his Yuan spirit to help us use the heaven and earth sensing art? Then we'll be able to find him. The heaven and earth sensing art consumes too much energy. The sect isn't sure whether or not he has a treasure. If it's not him, then the losses will be too great. Our cultivations will be affected for dozens of years. Let's wait a bit longer. They still couldn't make up their minds. The Myriad Treasures Path's experts were waiting for Su Fong to show himself. Su Fong was also waiting. The two sides were in a stalemate. Heavenly Treasure Royal City. The entire Royal City was sealed. Brother Lung. Because the city was sealed, not a single customer visited the Immortal Bestowment Merchant Guild. On the highest floor, Shui Lung and an old man in charge of the Merchant Guild were observing the Heavenly Treasure Royal City through the window. Shui Lung looked at the old man. We can confirm that Fong Yu killed Shui Qing and the others. The old man replied politely. Shui Qing and the others came here through the teleportation gate in order to kill Fong Yu. He asked me to keep an eye on Fong Yu's movements. When Fong Yu showed himself, I passed the news to Shui Qing. Later on, my informants proved that they followed Fong Yu out of the city and met with an accident. I personally rushed over, but I didn't even find their corpses. Where's Fong Yu? He's still carrying out the mission. Brother Lung, take a look. The entire royal city is sealed because of this mission. It can also be said that it's for Fong Yu. Brother Lung, this mission is very important. It's best that you don't kill Fong Yu now. Otherwise, if the treasure is lost, the higher-ups in the Merchant Guild will be implicated. What kind of treasure is it that caused this mission to be like a war? Since you and I are both members of the Crown Prince faction, there's no harm in telling Brother Lung. Not long ago, our Merchant Guild bought a batch of treasures. After cleaning them up, we took them out to sell. Coincidentally, the Myriad Treasures Dao came to our Merchant Guild to trade. Who knew that they would take a fancy to one of the treasures and quietly bought the entire batch of treasures? At that time, because some of the other items were not ready, we promised that the Merchant Guild would send them to the Myriad Treasures Dao. However, when we cleaned up the treasures, we found out that the treasure contained immortal spiritual qi. Immortal spiritual qi? This treasure is a Dao artifact. However, after studying it for a long time, it didn't seem to be a Dao artifact, but a broken artifact. We don't know why it was tainted with immortal spiritual qi. Later on, after investigating the source of the batch of goods, we finally found out that it was from the Xinjia Gate. It turned out to be a treasure from the Xinjia Gate that was collected by the peddlers in the Xinjia Gate. So it's a treasure from the Xinjia Gate. At that time, we hurriedly notified the sect. The sect's elders also came personally. They seemed to have seen that the treasure was related to the Xinjia Gate. They couldn't let it fall into the hands of the Myriad Treasures Dao. In the end, this mission was an accident. Even if the Myriad Treasures Dao knew that it was us, they couldn't do anything about it because they wouldn't admit that it was a treasure from the Xinjia Gate. In the end, the whole thing was just an accident. However, we really don't understand why the sect didn't let the elders come personally to take away the treasure. The sect naturally has its reasons for doing so. After Shui Lung understood the truth of the mission, he was also shocked. He didn't expect that it was a treasure related to the Xianjia door. At least from the current situation, the sect decision is correct. If the sect's experts take action and obtain the treasure, wouldn't the Myriad Treasure Path spies find out? Moreover, the Myriad Treasure Path has sealed the portal, so the treasure can't be brought out. Once the Myriad Treasure Path finds out, they will very likely uproot our Chamber of Commerce for a treasure from the Xianjia door. After all, any treasure from the Xianjia door has the possibility of unlocking the secret of the Xianjia door. After all, any treasure from the Xianjia door has the possibility of unlocking the secret of the Xianjia door and obtaining the peerless immortal item, becoming the true overlord of the Zhuotian boundary. Fong Yu has the ability to do so. Think about it. If Shui Qing and the others died in Fong Yu's hands, then isn't it very possible that he, a longevity disciple, has the ability to kill young nascent realm experts? With the identity of a longevity disciple, even the Myriad Treasures Dao wouldn't expect that such an important mission would be carried out by a longevity disciple. So far, this is the sect's arrangement, but in the end, we'll have to see if there are any unexpected accidents. Perhaps Fong Yu felt that the treasure was extraordinary and secretly checked the treasure. What if he secretly took the treasure away? Wouldn't that be? There's also such a possibility, but the Xinjia Gate's treasure is something that even the experts of the Chamber of Commerce couldn't find any clues about. If the Myriad Treasures Dao's refining experts didn't notice the difference, the treasure might still be in some treasure chest. Therefore, even if Fong Yu knows the importance of the treasure, he wouldn't risk betraying the sect after seeing that it's a treasure that he can't unlock. If he secretly took the treasure away, wouldn't Brother Lung have an excuse to kill him? I also hope that he would betray the sect and kill our Shui family's disciples. Even the Crown Prince is furious. This kid won't collapse for long. Pay close attention to the myriad treasures Dao's movements. If they catch Fong Yu, immediately report to the sect and think of a way to get the treasure back. I'll tell all the spies to pay attention. The two peerless experts discussed for a while, then began to pay attention to the Heavenly Treasure Royal City's movements. Extraterritorial secret region. Time passed day by day. Profound yellow space. Su Fong was cultivating in the air not far from Green Feather King. Green Feather King slowly opened his eyes and flashed into the air. You can't wait for too long. Think about it. If the myriad treasures Dao interrogates those suspicious cultivators one by one and doesn't find anything, they'll directly focus on you. At that time, they'll gather all their strength to find you. At that time, you won't be able to escape even if you have wings. Yeah, why didn't I think of that? Startled, Su Fong immediately got up and thought about it. It seems that a bloody battle is unavoidable. Only by killing my way out and using the heavenly secret life, shrinking art, to hide my fate and cut off all senses will I be able to escape Starfish Sky Island. The heavenly secret life, shrinking art, is indeed what you'll rely on to escape Starfish Sky Island, but you have to think about the consequences. Once you use it, you'll have to consume a lot of fate wheels, and it'll bring shackles to your cultivation. The arrow is already on the bow. I have no choice. Whoosh! Su Fong left the profound yellow space. Deep in the cliff, Su Fong sucked the Xianhuang's 6 Paths Pagoda into his palm, then went to the peak of the mountain and took out a large number of teleportation talismans. Now is the time to compare resources. Crack! The moment he crushed the teleportation talisman, Su Fong felt like he was moving in the air. Boom! But this time, just as he was passing through, he was suddenly intercepted by a wall. With a bang, Su Fong saw that there was a solid barrier in front of him. No wonder the teleportation talisman couldn't leave. It turned out that this area was completely sealed by the giant of Myriad Treasure's path. The teleportation talisman could only pass through, but couldn't pass through the defensive barrier silently. Found you. You want to escape from this barrier that I'm guarding? Dream on. A figure suddenly jumped out of the barrier in front of Su Fong. It turned out to be a young, nascent soul cultivator, and as soon as he came out, he pressed his palm towards Su Fong. Puppet. The big palm left. The strength and momentum of the young, nascent soul cultivator made Su Fong unable to resist with his own strength. Chi! Chi! A sword chi hit the big palm that pressed down. Ah! The man screamed. It turned out that his palms were cut off by the immortal sword. Fortunately, it's a second-tier, young, nascent soul opponent. Su Fong took a step forward and grabbed the puppet. The puppet slashed the barrier with its sword, shattering it, and immediately crushed the teleportation talisman. He used a teleportation talisman. Everyone, follow his path and use the teleportation talisman to chase after him. More than a dozen young, nascent soul cultivators appeared, followed by a large number of imperishable realm experts. Chapter 276. At this moment, both young nascent realm and imperishable realm experts took out teleportation talismans and crushed them one by one, chasing after Su Fong at almost the same time. Rustle. At this moment, it was like being in a sea of forest. Countless leaves fell back. The teleportation talisman's speed was astonishing. The power of this teleportation talisman disappeared, and Su Fong appeared in midair. Almost at the same time, the surrounding space became distorted, as if a gale had rolled the space into a sea of trees. Among them, the illusory figures of Myriad Treasure Path experts were condensing. Crack! Another teleportation talisman was crushed. Su Fong shuttled through a large number of illusory figures that appeared in the surroundings. Dozens of Myriad Treasure Path experts appeared, and in the blink of an eye, they also crushed teleportation talismans and chased after her at an astonishing speed. A large area of distorted air rushed in the direction of Sufang. Senior Peng King, if this continues, when will it end? While shuttling, her feet suddenly touched the ground, and the power of another teleportation talisman was consumed. She quickly crushed another one. Being chased by myriad treasure path experts using teleportation talismans, this was the first time Sufang was in such a state of battle since she started cultivating. While she was communicating with Green Feather King said in a deep voice, "The ones chasing you are all imperishable and young nascent realm experts. Fortunately, there are only a few of them, and you are getting further and further away from Myriad Treasure Path. If you continue like this, when you reach an even further place, what you can't imagine, they can't imagine either. In the end, I still have to fight with them. This is unavoidable. You have teleportation talismans, and they also have teleportation talismans. Moreover, their cultivation is above yours, so you have lost any advantage. You can't compete with imperishable and young nascent realm experts. In the end, you have to use all your means to kill these people. Fortunately, there are no experts from a mortal sealing sect, so you can use all your means. There aren't many teleportation talismans left, especially the 100-Li teleportation talisman. The rest are ordinary teleportation talismans that won't be of much use. You have to prepare to fight in advance. Only by taking the initiative can you defeat the enemy. Otherwise, your cultivation and strength are below theirs. How can you win?" Junior understands. "Master," Mo Phone Jun flashed in front of the divine sense. "This is the 7-colored soul-absorbing bell, the fire deity elephant, and the 13 fire crystal men. I'll leave you in the Xianwang 6 Paths Pagoda here. After I lure them away, you immediately come out of the Xianwang space and find a place to set up the formation. You must be fast. After you set up the formation, I'll cooperate with you to lure them into the formation and kill them one by one. Xiahou Ling, Zhua Zuifeng, and the 6 junior commanders will listen to your orders and cooperate with you to set up the formation." "Yes." Mo Fongjun bowed and accepted the order. The junior commander also flew over to prepare for the battle. Mysterious yellow, stripping. When the power of the teleportation talisman disappeared again, Su Feng walked out of the sky. He clapped his right hand, and a Xianguang shot down to the ground. Buzz, a large amount of Xianguang immediately appeared in the air behind them. The masters of the Myriad Treasure Path were chasing too closely. Whoosh! Su Feng crushed another teleportation talisman and moved forward again. The experts of the Myriad Treasure sect who had yet to reveal themselves also crushed their teleportation talismans. Whoosh! The shadow of a pagoda suddenly flew up from the ground along with Mo Fongjun. Mo Fongjun looked around and locked onto a mountain range that stretched as far as the eye could see. He immediately grabbed the Xianwang 6 Paths Pagoda and quickly flew over there. Su Feng crushed another 2 teleportation talismans and began to change direction, leading the masters of the Myriad Treasure sect in a large circle. True Devil Blood Plate. Rumble. Suddenly, a right hand appeared in the empty air. Then, a huge tremor occurred in the space, setting off an explosion. Su Feng was like a pinball that was shaken out of the air. I didn't expect that forcibly breaking the teleportation talisman while in the state of teleportation would cause such a heavy injury. Spitting out a mouthful of blood, Su Feng wiped the bloodstains and looked around. When he didn't see any masters of the Myriad Treasure sect, he immediately turned into a beam of demonic light. The demonic light fell into the forest below. After a breath of time, dozens of masters of the Myriad Treasures sect appeared in the surrounding area. There were more than a dozen young, nascent realm powerhouses and 20 imperishable realm powerhouses. Breaking the teleportation talisman's teleportation power midway will cause heavy injuries. He's hiding nearby, so there shouldn't be any more teleportation talismans. Everyone, be careful. Don't worry. Slowly control this area. A young, nascent realm old man ordered. Dozens of people flew out, leaving behind only a few extraordinary young, nascent realm powerhouses. Buzz. After the powerhouses formed hand seals, they released a shocking aura that turned into a door. What were they doing? Could it be that they're sensing my aura? In the forest, Su Fong, who was hiding in the true devil blood plate, could clearly see the powerhouses controlling the door through fusing with the true devil blood plate. We welcome the descent of Elder's Will. The powerhouses bowed. I'll use the heaven and earth sensing technique. You all cooperate. Because it's not my main body, I can only sense a certain area. A Xian Guang figure appeared in the door. Primordial spirit that was the descent of a true origin spirit. Seeing such a divine ability, Su Fong broke out in cold sweat. Another heaven and earth sensing technique. No matter how powerful you are, I'm hiding in the true devil blood plate. Even if you lock down this area, can you find me? About half an hour later, the door released waves of light. The origin spirit said, he's hiding in this area. It seems he's using some magic treasure to hide his aura, or he's hiding in a magic treasure space. So that's how it is. The powerhouses were shocked. The origin spirit said, our sect is a refining sect. In the entire Zhuotian realm, no one can compare to us in terms of magic treasures. Immediately activate our sect's forbidden technique. I'll release the origin spirit fusion forbidden technique. I'll definitely be able to sense any magic treasures in this area. Damn, they're a refining sect. Su Fong broke out in cold sweat. Only now did he remember that the Myriad Treasure sect was a refining sect, completely different from the Celestial Sealing sect. They definitely had a grasp on magic treasures that outsiders couldn't. This mission was indeed difficult. Even a young, nascent realm powerhouse wouldn't be able to complete it. True Devil Blood Plate. He secretly activated the True Devil Blood Plate to move in another direction. His speed wasn't fast, more like a jog. There was a barrier in front of him. The True Devil Blood Plate's sudden attack shook the world, creating a hole in the barrier. Just as I expected, this brat has an extraordinary treasure that's at least a high-grade magic treasure. He can hide in a magic treasure space and chase after him. Such a commotion was instantly noticed by the young, nascent realm powerhouse and the origin spirit within the door. A large number of experts chased after the barrier, but when they arrived, they saw traces of a teleportation talisman being crushed. The Myriad Treasure's sex experts also crushed their own teleportation talismans and chased after him. This is a teleportation talisman. There are different grades of teleportation talismans. Our sect is a refining sect. What kind of treasures don't we have? Let's see how long that brat can run. Leave 2 behind to guard this door. I'll have my sex expert support you. Using the door, the 4 experts didn't chase after the others. The powerful origin spirit spat out a large amount of teleportation talismans and then entered the door. 2 of them immediately chased after him with these talismans. 100,000, 10,000 teleportation talismans. This time, even if Su Fong grew wings, he wouldn't be able to rely on teleportation talismans to escape. Adding on the fact that the Myriad Treasure sect was a refining sect, they had an exceptional understanding of magic treasures. Even if he hid in the true Devil Blood Plate again, he would still be in great danger. In his current situation, Su Fong no longer had an absolute advantage in escaping this pursuit. After half an incense stick's worth of time, the door in the air that was guarded by the 2 nascent realm powerhouses suddenly buzzed, and 1 Myriad Treasure sect expert after another flew out of the door. They were all led by young, nascent realm experts. Over 100 people quickly appeared, and the door immediately shattered. The 2 nascent realm powerhouses guarding the door were gasping for breath from exhaustion. Clearly, to teleport so many experts from the Myriad Treasure sect to such a distant place was something even young, nascent realm experts couldn't handle. Let's go. More than 100 experts also crushed their teleportation talismans at the same time. With an overwhelming momentum, they spread out and chased in different directions. In this vast world, Su Fong, who was continuously traveling, searched his body and found that he didn't have many teleportation talismans left. These teleportation talismans should be special 1,000 or 10,000 mile teleportation talismans. I have to save them for the last moment. Whoosh! Suddenly, an even faster and more astonishing teleportation energy surged out from the space beside him. Boom! The myriad treasures sex experts had caught up. 10,000-mile teleportation talisman. It shook Su Fang's teleportation talisman and caused its trajectory to collapse. Amidst the shaking, the flesh, fetus divine armor used to protect the body was smashed into pieces. It was forcefully squeezed out of the air, and a figure was forming in the air beside him. It was too fast. This was an even higher grade talisman used on the 100-mile teleportation talisman. With Mo Fengjun and the other expert's formation speed, it should be enough. Ignoring his injuries, he turned around and crushed his teleportation talisman, fleeing in the opposite direction. He escaped again. Everyone, pay attention. This person is fleeing in the direction we came from. It seems like he only has a 100-mile teleportation talisman. In a short while, he will be surrounded by us. A young nascent realm expert flashed and stared at the direction Su Fang disappeared. He took out a token and immediately sent out a large amount of true characters. It was this short moment that gave Su Fang the most precious time. If this expert immediately chased after him and crushed a 10,000-mile teleportation talisman, he would definitely be able to catch up to Su Fang. Unfortunately, this expert was too careless. In a few breaths' time, Su Fang had already used the teleportation talisman to teleport continuously. With Xianwang's 6 Paths Pagoda's aura as his target, he quickly appeared in the sky above the vast mountains. Below him was a world of white fog. Majestic mountain peaks stretched out of the fog in a winding manner. It was as if he had arrived at a fairyland. After entering the fog, he sensed a large barrier with Mo Fengjun's aura as the main force. Mo Fengjun transmitted his voice in pleasant surprise. Master, the formation is almost done. The inside is mainly an illusion and the 8 origin soul elephant formation. Fortunately, with this 8 origin soul elephant formation, this subordinate can unleash the power to imprison a young nascent realm expert. Arriving above the barrier, the entire barrier naturally merged with the deep mountains. With the fog concealing it, this large formation was indeed not simple. However, after entering the barrier, Mo Fengjun appeared with Zhuo Zeifeng, Xiahou Ling, and the 6 senior and junior commanders. Su Fang voiced his worries. The opponent is also a young nascent realm expert. They won't take the risk to enter the barrier. They should be attacking from the outside. Mo Fengjun said, "We can first suppress the formation and hide it. When those myriad treasure path experts arrive, we can activate the barrier. It's the same as trapping them inside the formation." All right, quickly. They should be here immediately. Although he was worried, it was fortunate that his side's overall strength had reached the young nascent realm. Whoosh whoosh, sure enough. Several abnormal airflows appeared in the world of fog above. Clearly, some of the myriad treasure paths experts had arrived. Chapter 277. The myriad treasure Dao experts came too quickly and too suddenly. Su Fang, Mo Fengjun, and the other experts came to the forest on the ground. After Mo Fengjun formed a seal, the formation that covered 5 li suddenly disappeared. Everyone and the formation seemed to have been buried deep in the ground. Listen to Mo Fengjun's command and pour your power into his body. Then, Mo Fengjun will cooperate with me to activate the true devil blood plate and use the Heavenly Demon Book's great ability. I will use the formation's illusion to activate the Heavenly Demon Disintegration Seal and attack the cultivator's weakest primordial spirit. Hibernating under the ground, Su Fang transmitted to the experts, "Leave the formation to the fire deity elephant and the 13 fire crystal men. When they activate the 8 origin soul elephant formation, its power is boundless. With your vast power, even young nascent realm experts will be suppressed. It's best if you don't kill these people. I want to suppress them and turn them into slaves." Currently, The formation is our only way out. Master, you want to borrow all of our young, nascent realm strength to help you activate your great ability. Mo Feng Jun was worthy of being a seventh heaven realm expert. He immediately understood Su Feng's intention. I can't activate a king grade artifact. I can only use the 8 origin soul elephant formation to an undying height. It's the same for all kinds of abilities. However, with your young nascent realm strength, I can use all of my abilities to the height of a young nascent realm expert, especially the powerful heavenly demon book from the devil race. It can kill a young nascent realm expert's primordial spirit. Mo Feng Jun was indeed right. Buzz, buzz. The quiet natural breeze and the surroundings suddenly stirred up a gale. Waves of aura burst forth and pressed down on the mountain forest. Search this area carefully. Don't let go of any corner. With his absolute circle ability, Su Feng could hear how many people were approaching and how far they were from the formation. There were about 20 myriad treasure Dao experts. The majority of them were undead realm experts, and there were 3 young nascent realm experts. Under the lead of this young nascent realm expert, these people slowly searched the area radiated by the formation. Close. Half an incense stick later, the 3 young nascent realm experts led the undead realm experts and carefully searched every inch of the land. Finally, they entered the area radiated by the 8 origin soul elephant formation. At this moment, Mo Feng Jun clasped his hands together. His eyes emitted a shocking xinguang. Swish, swish, was as if a giant had spread a layer of cotton over the forest, covering it in an instant. It was the 8 elemental spiritual elephant formation hidden within nature. Not good, we've been tricked. It's a formation. Don't be impatient. We have the advantage in numbers while he's alone. How can we be afraid of him? Moreover, how powerful can he set up a formation in such a short period of time? That's right. We're just stalling for time. Let's continue our search. I've already sent out the news. Soon, all the sex experts will be here. Within the formation, the experts who had fallen into a predicament were all terrified. However, the 3 great experts promptly released their auras to suppress their panic. More than 20 people lined up and slowly entered the layers of space within the formation. Fire Deity Elephant. Control the 13 fire crystal golems and stop them from escaping the formation. At the top of the formation, Su Feng stood in the center, surrounded by Mo Feng Jun, Zui Feng, Xiahou Ling, and the 6 junior commanders. He took out the true demon blood plate and activated it with the heavenly demon scripture. An astonishing demonic aura surged out from his body. Even Mo Feng Jun was afraid of this demonic aura. This was especially true for the true demon blood plate, which he didn't know where it came from. It was too strange and dense. The true demon blood plate buzzed and flickered. It suddenly became 300 meters large. It was like a black plate that floated above the formation in everyone's heads. Rainbow Soul Absorbing Bell. Mo Feng Jun immediately formed a large number of seals according to the imprint that Su Feng had passed on to him. The Rainbow Soul Absorbing Bell also floated in front of him. At this moment, the Rainbow Soul Absorbing Bell was being activated by a young nascent soul expert. It was constantly shaking and its size was 100 times larger. It was like a large bell. A large amount of Xian Guang flew out from the Rainbow Soul Absorbing Bell. They seemed to be twisted, straight, or churning. They constantly radiated to every layer of space within the formation. Su Feng absorbed the true demon blood plate, as well as Mo Feng Jun's young nascent soul energy. His state had once again reached a state where he could control the world. If he reached the young nascent soul realm in the future, he would have such senses. The puppet also flew out under Su Feng's control. After activating the heavenly demon disintegration seal, a miraculous scene occurred. Countless Su Feng condensed from demonic chi. There were about 30 of them. They were all black smoke-like existences and were only as tall as a 3- or 4-year-old child. This was Su Feng's primordial spirit. It was only by using the heavenly demon book, activating the heavenly demon disintegration seal, and cooperating with the true demon blood plate that he could separate so many primordial spirits. Mo Feng Jun, Zhuo Zuifeng, and Xiao Ling were all stunned. With their young, nascent soul cultivation, they could only separate a little bit of their primordial spirits at most. They were not comparable to Su Feng at all. TSK. The heavenly demon primordial spirits that were controlled by the heavenly demon disintegration seal and stimulated by Su Feng's absorption of the true demon blood plate's power actually burned with demonic qi flames. Su Feng's eyes burst out with dazzling demonic qi as he swept his gaze across the layers of formations in front of him. At this moment, his strengthened body had reached the young, nascent soul realm. He was no longer the longevity disciple of the celestial sealing sect. Mo Feng Jun and the others were shocked to see that Su Feng's gaze radiated into the space, and they could all see it clearly. What kind of vision was this? Was it a divine ability? How could they know that Su Feng had a perfect physical body? This was an innate divine ability that could only be obtained after defying the heavens and changing one's fate. Could they still find a cultivator who cultivated an ancient physical body in the current Shuatian realm? Myriad Treasures Path Expert. After 2 breaths, under the radiation of Su Feng's ability, 8 figures suddenly appeared in the formation in front of them. They were a young, nascent soul realm powerhouse leading a group of immortal realm disciples, and they were searching towards the depths of the formation. Everyone saw them, and they were right in front of them, but these Myriad Treasures Path experts didn't notice them at all. They simply didn't know that everyone was staring at them. Because of the rainbow soul-absorbing Bell's ability, these people had already entered a primitive forest that was infested with tree monsters everywhere. According to Su Feng's will, all the spaces within the 8-origin divine image formation could produce scenes in his consciousness. Therefore, these Myriad Treasures Path experts were guarding against the tree monster's attacks, but they didn't know that there was actually nothing in the space. Heavenly Demon Primordial Spirit. More than 30 primordial spirits formed from the Heavenly Demon Disintegration Seal. Su Feng called them Heavenly Demon Primordial Spirits. Under the urging of his mental cultivation method, Su Feng felt all of his attention follow the 30 heavenly demon primordial spirits as they charged towards the young, nascent soul realm powerhouse like lightning. There was no aura, no movement. The 30 heavenly demon primordial spirits seemed to be flying in the void because they weren't corporeal, but illusory energy that was more substantial. Pa. In the blink of an eye, the 30 heavenly demon primordial spirits flew into the young, nascent soul realm powerhouse's mind. Su Feng's attention also appeared in the powerhouse's mind. In the space where the divine apertures coexisted, there was a child that looked exactly like the powerhouse floating there. This was the primordial spirit that the powerhouse had cultivated for 1,000 years. The powerhouse's primordial spirit immediately saw the darkness primordial spirits pouncing over. He urged the power of the mental world to form a defense, but the darkness primordial spirits were too fast and too powerful. They also carried terrifying devil qi. The instant the defense was formed, the heavenly demon primordial spirits shattered it. No! Within the formation, the young nascent soul realm powerhouse, floating in front of the immortal realm powerhouse, was stupefied. He struggled in fear, resisted, and shook his head. The people behind him didn't know what was happening. But to the young nascent soul realm powerhouse, there were countless black figures bearing fangs and brandishing claws in front of him. They had entered the depths of his mind and occupied his consciousness, as well as his heart. He couldn't break them. No matter how much strength he used, he couldn't break free. Heavenly Demon Imprint. Su Feng saw the powerhouse's resistance. He was even in the middle of it. At this moment, he was fighting against the young, nascent soul realm powerhouse's will. Whoever had the stronger primordial spirit and the sturdier Tao heart would win. Su Feng made a grabbing motion in the air toward the true demon blood plate. Whoosh! A ray of devil light shot into the formation below. The devil light passed through several layers of the formation and instantly struck the young, nascent soul realm powerhouse. Su Feng's will controlled all the heavenly demon primordial spirits to form devil seal seeds. With the help of devil chi, the seeds turned into a huge net that wrapped around the powerhouse's primordial spirit. Behave, or I'll shatter your primordial spirit right now and turn you into ashes. The heavenly demon primordial spirits released a thunder law that caused the young nascent soul realm powerhouse to collapse. Su Fang's body and the heavenly demon primordial spirits were like war gods standing in front of the young nascent soul realm powerhouse. It seemed like a long tug of war, but in reality, the attacks of the primordial spirits had only lasted a few breaths of time. Why, yes. The young nascent soul realm powerhouse trembled as he replied. Su Fang sneered. Suppress all the immortal disciples behind us. Don't kill them. I want them alive. Yes, master. The young nascent soul realm powerhouse had no chance of resisting. His primordial spirit was suppressed by Su Fang. What made him feel especially powerless was that there was an indescribable power in the depths of this space. If he resisted in the slightest, that power would instantly kill him. True demon blood, Disque, treasure from the supreme devil race. Circulate your power and help me sense the core of this formation. The young nascent soul realm powerhouse gathered the 7 immortal disciples according to Su Fang's will. They were all experts around the 5th stage of the immortal realm. These immortal realm disciples had just arrived and were completely defenseless as they activated their own powers. However, the young infant realm, immortal 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 whoosh. The young nascent soul realm powerhouse jumped in the air. With the pull of the devil chi, he arrived at the highest point of the formation in the blink of an eye and appeared in front of Su Fang, Mo Feng Jun, and the others. Master knelt down in fear before Su Fang. Mo Feng Jun swept his gaze. His cultivation is not bad. 5th stage of the young nascent soul realm. Su Fang looked at the almost middle-aged man. Peng Yanjin, from now on, you are my servant and work for me. Don't think about returning to the Myriad Treasures path or asking the Myriad Treasures path to save you. Previously, when he controlled the primordial spirit of the powerhouse, Su Fang had already obtained part of his memories. Yes, Peng Yanjin cowed out. Follow me to suppress the other 2 young nascent soul realm experts. Su Fang took the heavenly demon primordial spirit into his mind and ordered Mo Feng Jun to control the formation so that the rainbow soul-absorbing bell and the 8 origin soul image formation could continue to cooperate. The Myriad Treasures path treasure is definitely on me. While passing through the formation, Su Fang asked Peng Yanjin. Peng Yanjin answered truthfully, I'm not sure. I heard that more than a dozen people escaped from Royal City. Some of them are captured, but there are still a few left. The possibility that its master is increasing. How many people are chasing after me? Previously, there were only more than 40 people. Later, under the Elder's orders, more than 100 people came. There are a total of 35 young, nascent soul realm experts. Most of them are still searching in the surroundings. There are only me and 2 other young, nascent soul realm experts here. Peng Yanjin continued. The Elder knows that you have a large number of teleportation talismans. This time, he gave you a large number of teleportation talismans. Chapter 278. Then you have to help me suppress all of these experts from the Myriad Treasure Path and make them my slaves. At that time, they will all be under your control. Suppress everyone. Can I? Su Fang was already deep in thought. Taking advantage of the formation and his own special ability, why not strengthen his own power at this time? How to strengthen? Naturally, it was to suppress a large number of slaves, and they were all at the undead stage and young nascent stage. Master, these 2 young nascent stage experts are called Gao Cheng and Wu Wei. Their cultivation is similar to mine. Instant the 2 arrived above a layer of formation. Under Su Fang's control, More than a dozen myriad treasure path undead stage disciples appeared on the left and right side of the formation, and the leaders were two young nascent stage experts. Gao Cheng Wu Wei, they were both at the fifth layer of the young nascent stage. Su Fong laughed softly. These two have also fallen into the illusion. You go and sneak attack Gao Cheng. I will deal with Wu Wei. Whoosh! Peng Yanjin accepted the order and immediately flew towards the formation on the left. Su Fong activated the Heavenly Demon Disintegration Seal. Just like last time, with the help of the true Demon Blood Plate, more than 30 Heavenly Demon Primordial Spirits silently pounced towards Wu Wei. Peng in the space on the right. Wu Wei brought 9 undead stage experts to fight with the air, activating all kinds of treasures. They fell into the illusion and were fighting with a large number of experts. At this time, Wu Wei's body suddenly shook. His gaze recovered from the slaughter and suddenly surged with panic and disbelief. His body exploded with a large amount of aura, an aura that he could not control. Who are you? More than 30 primordial spirits suddenly appeared in his mind. Wu Wei wanted to activate all of his strength and cooperate with the primordial spirits to shatter the heavenly demon primordial spirits. But after several attempts, he failed. The heavenly demon primordial spirits spoke at the same time and coldly shouted, I am the one you are looking for. Your two companions, Peng Yanjin and Gao Cheng, have already submitted to me. Now, it is your turn. Wu Wei once again activated his strength to resist, but it was still to no avail. Seeing his primordial spirits being controlled, he knew the result. Yes, I submit. If one's primordial spirits being controlled, they would be instantly shattered and turned into ashes. He had cultivated for 1,000 years and finally reached the young nascent soul stage. He was a peerless disciple of the 10,000 treasures path. He could not die just like that. One by one, the heavenly devil seals entered his primordial spirit. Suppress these disciples as well. Don't take their lives. The Su Fong issued another decree. The latter immediately turned around. His speed was too fast, and he caught the disciples off guard. In the blink of an eye, they were all under his control. Master, Wu Wei bowed and walked over with the immortal sect disciples under his control. Come with me first. With a wave of his hand, the two of them directly arrived at the peak of the array formation. Before Wu Wei could see clearly, the two of them instantly entered the true demon blood plate. Demonic artifact. In the dark world of devil chi, Wu Wei felt as if he was in hell. Don't be afraid. Su Fong motioned for him to release the Immortal Realm disciples. Before these Immortal Realm experts could even react, he forcefully planted the Heavenly Devil imprint. One by one, they became his slaves. Whoosh! When Su Fong raised his right arm again, a beam of demonic light appeared. Inside it were a dozen or so elites. They were Peng Yanjin and a young nascent soul cultivator called Gao Cheng. Master, Gao Cheng reacted quickly and bowed to Su Fong. Release the immortal sect disciples. He ordered Peng Yanjin to release the immortal sect disciples that he had suppressed earlier. There were a total of 23 Immortal Realm experts. None of them dared to resist, especially in this devil chi space. Resisting was courting death. They all obediently accepted the control of the heavenly devil imprint. Even Gao Cheng was the same. Stand properly. Su Fong turned to the 3 young nascent soul cultivators and the 23 Immortal Realm experts. I am the person your 10,000 treasures path is looking for. It is impossible for the 10,000 treasures path to capture me. So what if you are a large faction? Right now, you can only obediently serve me. Otherwise, the only outcome is death. However, if you work loyally for me, I can give you freedom in the future. Hearing this, no one dared to breathe loudly. Su Fong continued, right now, I have a plan. A plan to suppress even more of the 10,000 treasures paths experts. Right now, there are only 26 of you. They don't know that you have been suppressed by me. So when you go out and return to the formation, you have to act as if nothing has happened. You have to act as if you are still looking for me in the formation. Also, Send a sound transmission to your fellow disciples. Tell them that the formation has countless spaces and that it isn't very dangerous inside. Have them enter the formation to support you. Then launch a sneak attack. Whoever captures the most people will be rewarded with a high-grade enchanted item, a large amount of pure origin pills, and resources that you can't even imagine, especially the essence blood of young nascent soul cultivators. You immortal realm experts must want it. I can provide you with young nascent soul blood. My only goal is to have the 10,000 treasures paths disciples become my slaves. We will respect Master. Peng Yanjin, Gao Cheng, and Wei Wu took the lead in answering. Let's go. Time couldn't be delayed for too long. With a wave of his hand, everyone followed Su Fong out of the true devil blood plate and returned to the formation. The three young nascent soul experts brought their own people back to different spaces. According to Su Fong's orders, they all asked the 10,000 treasures paths experts for help and told them about the situation inside the formation. At this time, Su Fong and Mo Feng Jun arrived at the top of the formation. Through the formation, they quickly saw a large number of 10,000 treasures paths disciples flying over from all directions. They were still doubtful when they arrived around the formation, but they still continued to charge into the formation. When Mo Feng Jun saw this scene and then looked at the situation inside the formation, he sincerely admired Su Fong. Master, this move of yours is amazing. In the adversity of being chased, you actually suppressed so many powerful slaves and strengthened your own strength. Su Fong didn't think much of it, but he sighed. Previously, I didn't expect that the formation would be so powerful when all of you worked together to activate it, especially the true devil blood plate. I have never used it in a young nascent soul state. I didn't expect it to be so powerful. Furthermore, the true devil blood plate can be used in conjunction with the Heavenly Devil Book's mental cultivation method. It can also unleash the most terrifying primordial spirit attack. Therefore, I had this bold idea. I want to suppress as many people as the 10,000 treasures path chased after me and become my slaves, my strength. This time, the 10,000 treasures path has suffered a double loss. At this point, it's either he lives or I die. I can only fight. Fortunately, I have a rank transcendent artifact. Before I left the Yuan city, I brought you, Zhua Zuifeng, and Xiahou Ling with me. Otherwise, even if I had a powerful transcendent artifact, I would still die here. This is called man proposes, God disposes. Mo Feng Jun repeatedly flattered. After working with Su Fong for a while, Mo Feng Jun had completely accepted his fate. It turned out that being Su Fong's slave wasn't a humiliating thing. After all, he was inferior to Su Fong in the first place. The show has begun. You continue to control the formation. I'll activate the true devil blood plate and cooperate with Peng Yanjin, Gao Cheng, and Wu Wei to suppress the experts they've injured. Then, I'll have these young nascent soul experts follow your orders and cooperate with you in activating the formation. When the time comes, the formation's power will be able to directly fight against the 10,000 treasures paths experts. After Su Fong gave his instructions, he entered the countless formations below. After entering one of the formations, Su Fong saw Gao Cheng talking to a young nascent soul expert. After Su Fong transmitted his voice, he led the expert into an empty space. Bang! Gao Cheng unexpectedly struck the expert from the same sect. Heavenly Devil Primordial Spirit. At almost the same time, over 30 Heavenly Devil Yuan spirits charged into the young nascent soul expert's head. Gao Cheng took advantage of this opportunity to attack Su Fong with a few more palms, heavily injuring his body and soul. In just a few breaths, this young nascent soul expert was under Su Fong's control. How many young nascent soul experts have come to the formation this time? Su Fong asked Gao Cheng. 11. They're all pretty strong between the 2nd and 6th heaven stage of the young nascent soul realm, replied Gao Cheng truthfully. He then returned to the formation and approached the young nascent soul expert. Another young nascent soul servant. Su Fong used the Heavenly Devil Seal to completely seal the young nascent soul expert's Yuan spirit. This expert still refused to accept his fate of being suppressed. This world speaks with strength. I'm not an expert, but I can suppress you. That's strength. You have to admit it. He bluntly attacked him, leaving him speechless. In the end, he compromised and followed Su Fang's orders, pretending to return to the formation. Just like Gao Cheng, he began to search for his next target. Like a contagious disease, more and more disciples of the Myriad Treasure Sect fell into Su Fang's hands and eventually became his slaves. When he arrived at Gao Wei's space, he quickly cooperated with Gao Wei to suppress a young nascent soul expert. He acted decisively, catching his opponent completely off guard. He practically didn't need a fight. Master, there are dozens of Myriad Treasure Sect experts coming from the vicinity of the formation. Mo Fengjuan's voice rang out. Su Fang immediately communicated with Peng Yanjin. Think of a way to trick them into the array formation. If you can't persuade them, convince them to wait outside the array formation and wait for the experts in the array formation to find me. If they can't find me, then destroy the array formation. Yes, Peng Yanjin replied, then passed on Su Fang's message to the other young nascent and imperishable realm servants. Su Fang appeared on top of the formation and looked out with Mo Fengjun. Indeed, there were more than 40 disciples of the Myriad Treasure Sect surrounding the formation. Luckily, some of them had flown into the formation, leaving behind more than 20 disciples. It seemed like they were going to stay outside the formation to control the situation, fearing that the formation would suddenly change. These Myriad Treasure Sect experts think they're smart. They think they can do something outside the formation. They don't know that by the time they understand, all the Myriad Treasure Sect disciples in the formation will have become master servants. Mo Fengjun laughed complacently. Su Fang said, "Your cultivation is the highest here, and there seem to be several powerful young nascent soul experts outside. This is the Heavenly Devil Seal Seed. Go work with Peng Yanjin, Gao Cheng, Wu Wei, and the others. Quickly seal the Heavenly Devil Seal on the Myriad Treasure Sect disciples. There's no need to control the formation for now. The Myriad Treasure Sect experts won't rashly attack the formation." Swish! Mo Fengjun entered the formation with a large amount of Heavenly Devil Seals. Rainbow Soul Absorbing Bell. Su Fang arrived in front of Zhuo Zuifeng, Xiahou Ling, and the 6 junior commanders. Absorbing their powerful energy, he activated the Rainbow Soul Absorbing Bell. This high-grade enchanted item had done a great job. The illusion it created was too powerful. It could shackle young nascent soul experts. Combined with the 8 Origin Soul Elephant formation, it could attack and defend. If he wanted to kill the Myriad Treasure Sect disciples, it would be too easy. The Rainbow Soul Absorbing Bell would confuse them, and the Fire God Elephant and the 13 Fire Crystal Golems would attack. Even young nascent soul experts would fall. And now, the Myriad Treasure Sect's experts outside the formation hesitated, giving Su Fang a bit more time to suppress even more Myriad Treasure Sect disciples. This time, Su Fang had obtained a great victory in a short amount of time. Being able to obtain so many servants from the Myriad Treasure Sect, Su Fang's overall strength had increased several times. Chapter 279. The Rainbow Soul Absorbing Bell was activated by Zhuo Zuifeng, Xiahou Ling, and the 6 Great Orthodoxies. A large amount of mysterious Xianguang was sucked into the 8 Origin Divine Image formation. Su Fang could sense and control the entire formation, while the Fire God Elephant and the 13 Fire Crystal Golems were prepared outside the formation. The formation could be said to be flawless. Another 2 hours passed. Master, Russell, a large number of figures flew over. There was a total of 70 people led by Mo Fengjun. He brought Peng Yanjin, Gao Cheng, Wu Wei, and the other Myriad Treasure Path experts and leaped over from the bottom of the formation. Good, take them all down. Su Fangdao was overjoyed. The 50 people who charged into the formation were all suppressed. There were 11 Yang Soul Realm experts among them. Adding Peng Yanjin, Gao Cheng, and Wu Wei, Su Fang had suppressed 14 Yang Soul Realm experts of the Myriad Treasure Path. 14 young soul realm experts. No wonder Su Fong was so excited. There were a total of 63 imperishable realm experts behind them. In total, there were 77 myriad treasure path slaves. Su Fong couldn't be unhappy. Mo Feng Jun raised his hand and turned to introduce to the 77 slaves, "This is our master." Master. Everyone hastily bowed. True devil blood plate. Waves of devil chi descended. Su Fong once again borrowed the power of the true devil blood plate to reinforce the heavenly devil imprint in his mind, making it impossible for anyone to resist. "This is the impotence pill that I refined. Take it first, and these pure essence pills. Then, prepare to attack the experts outside the formation." He took out a large number of impotence pills and pure essence pills and threw them at everyone like a storm. Everyone received over 10,000 pills and immediately consumed them to recover their strength. Peng Yanjin, Gao Cheng, and Wu Wei brought the 11 Yang Soul Realm experts and flew in front of Su Fong. Mo Fengjun also came to the side. Su Fong looked at the 14 Yang Soul Realm experts. Now, he no longer feared the myriad treasure path and had the confidence to return to the Crimson Firmament continent. "The 14 of you, listen to Mo Fengjuan's orders and lead the other imperishable realm cultivators. Prepare to activate this formation with all your strength." He then looked at Peng Yanjin, Gao Cheng, and Wu Wei. "We'll do the same thing as before. Try to lure the more powerful experts outside into the formation. Just say that you found me at the center of the formation and trapped me there, but I have a Dharma treasure protecting me. We need more people to enter the formation to suppress the Dharma treasure. I believe we can trick some of the experts outside into coming in." "Yes, Master." The 3 experts obeyed Su Fong's order and immediately used the Myriad Treasures Path Disciple token to send a message to the young nascent realm giants outside. The Myriad Treasures sect had sent a total of 33 young nascent realm cultivators. 14 of them were suppressed, and there were still 19 young nascent realm cultivators outside. The greedy Su Fong wanted to catch all of them in one go. After Peng Yanjin and the others spread the news, they soon saw that the disciples of the Myriad Treasure Path outside the formation were ready to make a move. Several young soul realm giants appeared and gathered the undying realm disciples. In a short time, more than 30 people appeared, including 7 young soul realm giants. The other Myriad Treasure Path experts did not intend to enter the formation. They were also the last experts that could be tricked into entering the formation. After more than 30 people entered the formation, Mo Fengjun led the 14 Yang Soul Realm Giants and the 63 Undying Realm Experts to release their power to activate the Rainbow Soul-Absorbing Bell. The combined power of so many experts had reached the peak of the Yang Nascent Realm. It was just enough to activate the Rainbow Soul-Absorbing Bell, as well as the power of any high-grade artifact. The Rainbow Soul-Absorbing Bell expanded and transformed once more. At this moment, Su Fong used everyone's power to fuse with the Rainbow Soul-Absorbing Bell once more, fusing the deep seals inside one by one. At this moment, Su Fong's mind flickered. Whatever he thought of, the illusory power of the 7-colored soul-sucking bell would fuse with the formation. As long as a cultivator entered the formation and came into contact with the power of the 7-colored soul-sucking bell, they would quickly fall into Su Fong's mental world through their senses and taste. It was equivalent to entering an illusory realm. Within the formation, through Su Fongda's senses, the 7 Yang Soul Realm experts led over 20 Undying Realm disciples deep into the formation layer by layer. The Fire Divine Elephant and the 13 Fire Crystal Golems constantly transformed around them, ready to launch a surprise attack at any time. The 7 experts moved separately, each leading a few Undying Realm disciples. Not long after they entered the illusory formation space, their movements all slowed down. Some ran in the air, some danced with joy, and some fled in fear. 8 Origin Soul Elephant Formation Suppress. At this very moment, Su Fong did not personally take action to suppress the 7 Yang Soul Realm giants and the 20 Undying Realm disciples. He did not let Mo Fengjun and the other experts take action either. Instead, he activated the 8 Origin Soul Elephant formation, which he rarely did. One of the Yang Soul Realm giants behind also saw the scene that Su Fong could sense. He exclaimed, "Master, this formation seems to be the legendary formation of the spirit sect from 30,000 years ago, the 8 Origin Soul Elephant formation. You've heard of it?" Su Fong stared at this expert. This person said, "Although this subordinate mainly cultivates the Tao of artifact refining, this subordinate has also studied the Tao of formations. I once went to the ruins of the spirit sect and heard a few legends about the 8 Origin Soul Elephant formation. This subordinate just did not dare to be certain. After all, the spirit sect had disappeared for 30,000 years. Who would have thought that there would still be people who knew about the 8 Origin Soul Elephant formation?" Under everyone's shocked gazes, Su Fong nodded. "I also accidentally entered the 8 Origin Soul Elephant formation in the ruins of the spirit sect. I obtained the remnant formation from 30,000 years ago to suppress it. That Fire Divine Elephant was the only one who mastered this formation. It really is the 8 Origin Soul Elephant formation. Fire Divine Elephant. That's a flame essence, a supreme spirit treasure. I heard that this formation contains countless transformations. It's a peerless formation that focuses on offense." Everyone looked at Su Fong in a new light. They thought that he was bringing more and more surprises to everyone. Fire Divine Elephant. Use the formation's transformations to suppress the cultivators in these spaces. After absorbing the Yang Soul expert's energy and magic energy, Su Fong immediately gave the Fire Divine Elephant the order to attack. He also controlled the formation to cooperate with the Fire Divine Elephant. In the outer space near the center of the formation's countless restrictions suddenly began to merge. Layer after layer of formations began to devour each other. Pow! Pow! The Fire Divine Elephant charged forward. There were 13 dazzling flame giants around it. As the Fire Divine Elephant ran, it absorbed the formation's essence. The 13 flame crystal giants also absorbed the formation's energy. At this time, the Fire Divine Elephant and the flame crystal giants were controlling the formation's energy. Chi! The Fire Divine Elephant became incomparably huge. Its trunk fiercely smashed down on the formation space, emitting surging flames from its nostrils. Rumble. The elephant trunk's attack was practically the majority of the formation's energy. The huge force combined with the formation space shook the 30 or so experts who had fallen into an illusion. The formation space was also in a state of being torn apart. The tearing force once more struck everyone. Powerful. With just one attack, 7 Yang Soul experts had attacked. Quite a few Undying experts were heavily injured. Even Mo Fengjun was incomparably shocked. True Devil Blood Plate. With the Yang Soul expert's power, the true Devil Blood Plate swept through everyone like a magnet, swallowing the heavily injured experts one by one. The scene was like the autumn wind sweeping up fallen leaves. Miserable. Too miserable. The Yang Soul experts were first heavily injured, and now they were being sucked into the true Devil Blood Plate. Facing such a terrifying devil artifact, they could not even struggle. What's going on inside? The Yang Soul experts outside felt the formation's huge tremors and immediately felt that something was wrong. Especially the 12 Yang Soul experts. They instantly flew over to the formation. From the beginning until now, nearly 100 people have gone in, but not a single one has come out. Now, someone's aura has completely disappeared. Could it be that impossible, we have so many Yang Soul experts here. Could it be that we can't deal with one person? Could it be that that person has surpassed the Yang Soul realm? No, the other party cannot be that legendary existence. It seems this formation is strange. I'm afraid that most of the people who went in were suppressed. Sheng quickly asked for help from the sect. We'll attack the formation first. Let's break this weak formation first. The 12 experts raised their arms and called for help. Quite a few undying experts surrounded the formation. All of this was clearly heard by Su Fong. Within the formation, Peng Yanjin said, "Master, they're making a move. They want to attack our formation. Give me your teleportation talismans. This place is still very close to the Myriad Treasure Path. They've already asked for help from the Myriad Treasure Path. I have to quickly leave this place and get further away. Perhaps this time, I can directly escape from Starfish Sky Island." Su Fong swept his gaze over everyone. It turned out that he already had a way to deal with this. Everyone hurriedly took out their teleportation talismans. The Myriad Treasure Path was rich. An artifact refining sect was like an alchemy sect, who knew how much wealth they collected every year. There were about a few thousand teleportation talismans, ranging from 50 to 10,000 miles. Enough. Su Fong turned around and looked at everyone. He activated the true demon blood plate and sucked all the undying experts into it. With a buzzing sound, a pagoda gate sucked in the remaining Yang Soul Realm experts. Only Su Fong was left. He looked into the depths of the formation. The fire god Elephant flew over with the 13 fire crystal golems. The rainbow soul absorbing bell also drilled into his palm. Everything disappeared into Su Fong's body. The 8 origin divine elephant formation was still there, but there was not much power left inside. It would not last long before it broke. He stared at the Myriad Treasure Path experts around the formation. They were accumulating power, trying to use all their strength to break this formation. Su Fong flashed to the edge of the formation. When he stepped into the formation, the attacks of the Myriad Treasure Path experts also hit the formation. The mountain also shook because of this, setting off a shocking sandstorm-like explosion. Crack! Su Fong crushed a teleportation talisman in his hand. Looking at the momentum that was about to spread from behind, he followed the teleportation talisman and disappeared in the air. They escaped. It's in that direction. Chase after them. Wait here for the sect experts who are rushing over. The Myriad Treasure Path experts sensed the aura of the teleportation talisman and captured the direction Su Fong was traveling in. More than 10 experts immediately chased after them, leaving behind some to set up the formation. Not long after, a shocking momentum rose from the distant sky. It was the power of the teleportation talisman. Soon, millions of Treasure Path experts appeared in the ruined mountain caused by the sandstorm. Elder. More than 10 experts who were guarding the ruins flew out. In front of hundreds of people, an elder floated. This elder did not have any aura. He floated in the air as if he was weightless. He did not control a flying sword, nor did he use any divine ability. The elder was furious. Now we can be sure that the treasure is on this person. Why can't you catch him, even though there are so many of you? A Yang Soul Realm expert trembled as he replied, "We don't know what kind of power that person has. Under normal circumstances, he set up the formation and killed dozens of our sex experts. Even Yang Soul Realm disciples like Peng Yanjin died one after another. Chase after them. Everyone, crush the teleportation talisman. Use the aura of your sex tokens as the target to travel. We can't let go of a cultivator who dared to be so presumptuous in our Myriad Treasure Path's territory." The elder gave the order to everyone. A spectacular scene immediately appeared. Hundreds of people crushed the teleportation talisman at the same time, causing the sky to shake violently. Then, at the same time, they were swept into deep space. Chapter 280. A great distance away, Su Fong was pulled back by the remaining power of the teleportation talisman. Looking behind him, he asked Green Feather King, "Senior, more and more people from the Myriad Treasure Path are chasing after me. I can't shake them off, even if I keep going back and forth. Run as far as you can. You can't set up a formation because the next time the Myriad Treasure Path sees a formation, they won't be fooled by you like last time. So, try to stay as far away from them as possible. Go to the edge of the Starfish Sky Island or the large body of water between the Crimson Firmament Continent and the Starfish Sky Island. At that time, You can use a large number of Yang soul slaves to use the true demon blood plate or the Xianwang's six-path pagoda to kill them. Only when you reach the body of water can you really return to the crimson firmament continent. In the territory of the Starfish Sky Island, the experts of the Myriad Treasure Path will quickly reinforce each other. Once you reach the body of water, the environment there is special. It's no longer the domain of the Myriad Treasure Path. Junior forgot one thing. In the body of water, I can suppress and imprison the monsters in the body of water and use them to escape to the crimson firmament continent or hide in the profound yellow continent. That's right. So hurry up. Don't be stingy with your teleportation talismans. There will be more in the future. Junior understands. After Green Feather Monarch's reminder, Su Fong glanced behind him. For several miles in the air, there were all kinds of wind and shock waves rushing towards him. It was the reinforcements of the Myriad Treasure Path chasing after him. There were clearly several hundred of them. Kid, you'll have a bloody battle this time, because there seems to be an incomparably powerful aura hidden among the experts of the Myriad Treasure Path. It might not be the main body, but it might be a Yuan spirit. It should be an elder of the Myriad Treasure Path. Their cultivation is even higher than the Yang Soul Realm. For most cultivators, they are legendary existences. Their strength is similar to this king's current state. Even if you have a teleportation talisman, you won't be able to escape their senses, said Green Feather King. I hope it's a Yuan spirit. Crushing a 1,000-li teleportation talisman, Su Fong once again escaped into the deep space. Behind them, the several million experts of the treasure path chased after them. Before they even showed themselves, they all crushed 10,000-mile teleportation talismans. They simply didn't care about this resource that even the majority of Yang soul cultivators cherished. 2 hours. For hours. Su Fong had never felt that the world was so huge. It was as if the Starfish Heavenly Island was much bigger than the Crimson Firmament Continent. He kept crushing the teleportation talismans, but he felt his body freeze as he shuttled back and forth. What was worse was that there were almost no 10,000-mile teleportation talismans left. He had to keep a few to save his life. In terms of teleportation talismans, he was still no match for the giant Myriad Treasures Path. So, while he was traveling, Su Fong suddenly heard a strange, but not obvious, aura rushing against him. Strange because this sound was like the shuttling momentum of a teleportation talisman. Life-chasing technique. Just as he was wondering where the voice came from, an old man's face suddenly appeared in the natural deep space behind him. It was very clear, and it felt like a human skin mask. Su Fong felt a chill run down his spine. Not good. Peng, the old man's face, abruptly struck Su Fong like a hungry tiger pouncing on a sheep. He rolled around like a ball, feeling as if his body was about to fall apart. Hold on. This king will have the other Yang soul servants send their energy into your body. It was as if his life was about to disappear at this moment. In the depths of profound yellow, also in Su Fong's inner abyss, Green Feather King's voice rang out in time, and a vast energy immediately poured into his body. Su Fong felt as if he had been sucked into a boiling pot, unable to control his body. He floated up and down along with the boiling bubbles, which was very comfortable. Green Feather King shouted again, "Hurry up and use the dragon subduing wood to help you recover your life force." That attack just now came from the Myriad Treasures Path's Elder's Yuan Spirit attack, and he used the life-chasing technique to plant his and Myriad Treasures Path's aura in your body, so that anyone from Myriad Treasures Path who is chasing you can sense your existence. Many thanks, Senior. It was not an illusion, nor was it a dream, but a supreme giant using his Yuan spirit to carry out the legendary 10,000-mile kill. Su Fong rolled around like a carp, but the teleportation talisman's power had lost its effect, and he was shaken out of the natural sky. The dragon subduing wood began to release energy under the purple chi spirit, and with the power of the Yang soul servants, he swallowed all kinds of resources, and his injuries began to recover. Where do you think you're going? In a breath's time, strong wind waves came from all directions, and the Myriad Treasures Path's experts leaped out one after another. The Yang Soul Giants were the first to appear, followed by a large number of immortal disciples. Hundreds of people charged out in an instant. Not to mention their momentum, just the speed of their appearance caused the surrounding sky to shake. So it's a longevity ant. How is this possible? Because Su Fong was recovering his strength, some of his aura could not be concealed and immediately caused the Myriad Treasures Path's experts to be shocked, because the person they had been chasing was actually a longevity cultivator. A Yang Soul Giant stared at everyone. Who cares if he's a longevity cultivator or a Yang Soul cultivator? The Elder has already controlled his aura, and we don't want him alive. Everyone, kill him. Kill. Among the millions of experts, only a few dozen made a move, while the others formed a formation in the surroundings, shackling the sky. This way, Su Fong could not escape. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. A few dozen people immediately charged over, and the leaders were still the 5 Yang Soul Giants. It seemed that even if the Myriad Treasures Path knew that Su Fong was a longevity cultivator, they had suffered a loss before, and this time, they brought out Yang Soul Giants. Unavoidable, then let's fight. Su Fong suddenly floated up. Right now, preserving his life was more important, and he did not care about anything else. Aside from not letting Green Feather King's aura appear, and using Titan Palm, Indestructible Golden Body, Nine Yang True Chi, Origin Saint Realm, and other peerless techniques, he had to use everything else. Illusory Fire Cloud, Formless Fire Cloud Saber. Looking at the dozens of experts around him, Su Fong did not have a trace of unease. He was already activating the Xianwang Six Paths Pagoda's power. Xianwang's Six Paths Pagoda could not only be summoned and used to attack, but it could also be activated within the body, releasing its power and might, and fusing it with Su Fong's magic power, spiritual power, divine ability, and other aspects. At this moment, within the Xianhuang Six Paths Pagoda, in a space in front of Green Feather King, Mo Fongjun brought Zhua Zuifeng, Xiahou Ling, Peng Yanjin, and 21 other Yang Soul Giants of the Myriad Treasures Path. A total of 24 giants were activating their own power. Their power was slowly flowing into Su Fong's body through the mysterious yellow earth. After absorbing the power of the giants, Su Fong had the power of a Yang Soul. Fortunately, he was in the perfection realm, otherwise his body would not be able to bear this power. Of course, it was inseparable from the purple Chi Dharma spirit. With the purple Chi Dharma spirit, he could fuse with the fire god elephant, the dragon taming wood, and the Xianwang Six Paths Pagoda, these terrifying magic treasures. He was also borrowing the power of the giants to activate all kinds of amazing techniques that he could not use. Illusory Fire Cloud first, it was this set of divine ability from the outside world. Moreover, a flame appeared in Su Fong's left palm, because he had also summoned the Flaming Cloud Spiritual Gourd, hiding it in his palm, ready to attack at any time. Kill. The 5 Yang Soul Giants, along with the complacent, indestructible disciples, were less than 10 feet away. Su Fong's body was full of burning fire clouds, and most of the Myriad Treasures Path disciples around him had already summoned their magic treasures. Formless Flaming Cloud Saber, explode. At this moment, a second before the Master of the Thousand Treasures Way was about to attack, Su Fong activated the Taoist seal. Suddenly, a shocking cloud of fire appeared around him. It looked like a cloud of fire, but clearly, it was a cloud of burning saber radiance. Whoosh, whoosh. There were too many flaming cloud saber lights, enveloping Su Fong like an amazing defense. The Myriad Treasures Path experts, especially the 5 Yang Soul Giants, released waves of cold chi. It turned out that they wanted to use the cold chi to suppress and freeze the saber lights. Terrifying, the aura of a Yang Soul is too terrifying. If I didn't have the support of so many experts, just the cold chi's aura alone would be enough to crush me. This was not a battle with an indestructible cultivator, nor was it an indestructible expert. It was a Yang Soul Giant. Want to freeze my illusory flaming cloud? Let's see if you have the ability. Although he was shocked by the surrounding cold chi, Su Fong did not show weakness. He used the formless flaming cloud saber to see if the immortal sealing sect experts could freeze the saber lights. Whoosh! The attack was like a dark cloud covering the sky, causing the cold air and the fiery cloud to devour each other. The cold air wanted to freeze the fiery cloud, but the fiery cloud did not show any weakness. The fiery flame burned fiercely, and the cold air and the fiery flame set off a deafening friction, causing the sky to be filled with a destructive aura. If Su Fong did not have the Yang Soul Giant, the flesh fetus divine armor, and the illusory flaming cloud, he might have already been crushed by the aura. Whoosh! The attack of a magic treasure was no joke. Su Fong no longer defended. The large amount of fire cloud saber lights floating around him suddenly dispersed. Saber lights began to explode, forming a destructive cloud of sparks. It felt like a fairy scattering flowers, exploding towards the surrounding experts. Whoosh! Hua hua for a moment. Even the cold chi could not withstand the explosion of the saber light. The 5 Yang Soul experts were so shaken that they could not control the cold chi. Thus, the power of the sparks landed around the immortal realm experts or on their bodies. At this moment, there were burning clouds of fire everywhere, as well as extremely tragic cries. This was not an ordinary fire-type divine ability, but a power that did not belong to a small world. Ordinary cultivators would not be able to block it at all. The celestial sealing sect's green, fiendish true fire was powerful, but in the end, it was still no match for the illusory fire cloud. Good job. Black and yellow space when the Yang Ing servants and the 6 senior and junior commanders saw that Su Fong was able to suppress dozens of experts and control the situation. They all saw hope. Su Fong, a longevity realm cultivator, was astonished. Only Green Feather King wasn't happy. Brat, don't fight. Take this chance to break out of the encirclement. Otherwise, if more experts activate the formation, you won't be able to last much longer. At that time, you won't be able to escape. Wings of fire cloud steps. In truth, Su Fong did not plan to fight the myriad treasure paths experts here. That was impossible. Even if he had 24 Yang Soul servants, it was impossible for him to defeat millions of treasure path experts. The main reason was that he did not have a Yang Soul body. In the end, he was unable to use the true power of a Yang Soul. Whoosh! Wings of fire cloud condensed on his back. His figure also turned into a fiery cloud state. Riding the phaseless fire cloud saber, he turned around and waved his hand. Before the experts of the myriad treasure path floating in front of the boundary behind him could react, a large number of phaseless fire cloud sabers appeared in front of them. The main reason was that these people were relying on their numbers. With the barrier blocking them, they were not afraid of Su Fong alone. But now it was too late for regret. They had never thought that a longevity realm disciple's divine ability would reach such a shocking level. Chapter 281. As a result, many of the myriad treasures paths experts were just about to attack when the formless flame cloud saber appeared in front of them, causing a destructive explosion and a burning cloud of fire. These were flames that wouldn't be easily extinguished. Although the formless flame cloud saber was a divine ability, the essence of a divine ability was to fuse with nature. That was the true divine ability. Otherwise, how much power could a human use with their cultivation and strength? Lightning, thunder, volcanic eruptions, and the collapse of the heavens and the earth would always be above humans. Humans would always have to look at the face of the heavens. A large number of experts were enveloped by the cloud of fire and caught in the explosion. Wind and fire spirit swords. Su Fong, who had turned into flames and used the flame cloud steps, sent out a sword light that struck the barrier. The wind and fire spirit swords activated by the Yang Soul Realm's power is 10 times greater than mine. Taking advantage of the burning cloud of fire, Su Fong flashed out of the broken barrier. Tut tut tut. Just as he appeared, a palm print suddenly descended from above. Looking up, he saw that a Yangsoul realm expert had reacted first. He had flown out of the barrier to ambush Su Fong outside. Dragon Snake Tornado. A tornado of fire clouds and a storm appeared. It was a fire dragon and a winged serpent that instantly swept towards the palm print. With a rumble, the palm print was blown away. White Sword Talisman, Divine Image Domain. The Yangsoul realm expert wanted to stop Su Fong by himself. It was obvious that if he captured Su Fong, he would make a great contribution. With a wave of his hand, he threw out a shocking talisman that contained terrifying sword chi. At the same time, the sword chi exploded, and the surroundings were suddenly enveloped by a sword light. Many sword images floated in the sword light's space. Divine Image Su Fong was no stranger to it. During the 100-year trial, he had helped Qian Huanyun obtain a divine image. Now that he saw it, it was truly a powerful technique. When used in an instant, its effect was similar to a formation, but it was much easier to control. Sword-shaped seal. The sword chi divine image was high up in the sky. The expert pounced down and spread his hands. His 10 fingers flickered with a sharp sword aura. He wanted to cut Su Fong apart. This was not a direct attack. The floating sword shadows around the entire god form suddenly flickered and instantly filled the sky with sword shadows, densely surrounding Su Fong. Are they trying to seal Su Fong? Formless fire cloud saber. With him as the center, an even more powerful illusory fire cloud instantly erupted. Rumble at the moment of the huge explosion. The fire cloud shattered the sword shadows that were encircling him. The sword shadows and the godly image were all shattered in an unstoppable manner. Pooh! The giant controlling the godly form in the sky was blown away by the explosion. A Yangsoul giant would also be defeated by the illusory fire cloud. As the godly image disappeared, many fragments fell and appeared in front of his eyes. He immediately crushed the teleportation talisman. At this time, a large number of 10,000 treasures path experts flew over. The cultivators of the myriad treasures sect were furious. They crushed their teleportation talismans and chased after him again. The formation behind disappeared, leaving behind some burning flames. The more than 20 charred corpses of the immortal realm experts would soon turn into ashes under the flames. In the state of teleportation talismans, Su Fong was planning the next fight. The next time, the experts of the myriad treasures path would be more difficult to deal with. He was afraid that when everyone attacked him together, he would not be able to resist a single move. Escape. Su Fong only had this thought. He tried to fly out of the Starfish Sky Island. As long as he reached the water realm, he would have many ways to escape back to the Crimson Firmament continent. He took out one teleportation talisman after another without hesitation and crushed them again and again. They were all 1,000-miles teleportation talismans. Green Feather King suddenly warned, "Kid, be careful. You're about to fly out of the Starfish Sky Island. The elders of the myriad treasures, Dao, might try to kill your Yuan spirit. You have to be prepared. They couldn't kill you last time. So this time, their Yuan spirits will be even more terrifying. They won't give you any breathing room." Is that so? 1,000 miles kill, that was an amazing primordial spirit technique. Last time, he was indeed lucky. Fortunately, he had the flesh fetus divine armor to protect him at all times. But what about the next time? It seemed that he would really come to the edge of the Starfish Sky Island. There was a vast territory everywhere. Whoosh! Suddenly, a strange yet familiar voice sounded. Hearing this voice, Su Fong looked back. In the retreating illusion, a face appeared once again. It was still the face of the old man from before. Kill! The old man let out a solemn and irresistible roar. Puppet protection! With a wave of his hand, a figure flew out from his body and arrived behind Su Fong with a swoosh. This puppet was the 6th-stage young nascent soul expert who had been killed before. Originally, with this puppet, Su Fong could do things more easily in the future. However, the old man's face suddenly approached. His speed was too fast. This was the speed and ability of a giant cultivator. Boom! All the momentum and power of the face hit the puppet behind him. However, the force of the impact also shook Su Fong, causing him to vomit blood. As for the puppet behind Su Fong that blocked this terrifying primordial spirit attack, it actually exploded and turned into a pile of meat paste that scattered in the wild. It was a pity that it was a young, nascent soul puppet. 1,000 Miles Teleportation Talisman. Taking advantage of the puppet's explosion, the other party would think that he had died and crushed the 1,000 Miles Teleportation Talisman. It's actually not you. There is no strong, primordial spirit resistance or fluctuation. The aura is still moving quickly. Just as he moved away, the old man's angry sigh came from behind. You used your primordial spirit to kill me twice. Even if you are a supreme giant, you can't condense your primordial spirit and kill me a third time. Su Fong smiled coldly and came back to his senses. He found that he had already flown out of the land. In front of him were some scattered islands. He had finally escaped from the Starfish Sky Island. At this moment, just as he smiled and relaxed, Yuan Ling said in surprise, "Be careful, Master. A Dharma treasure is coming at you. Activating the Dharma treasure to kill you." That's right. How could Su Fong forget that Supreme Giants had this ability? Supreme Giants had ordinary Dharma treasures. They could activate the Dharma treasure to kill you. What kind of Dharma treasure is that? Su Fongdao was shocked. Yuan Ling reminded, "It should be a king-grade Dharma treasure. Only a king-grade Dharma treasure can kill you so accurately. Master, activate the black-yellow true body. Otherwise, you won't be able to block the king-grade Dharma treasure's attack. Even if you're a young, nascent soul, you won't be able to block it with your physical body. Your flesh-body divine armor is too weak. You haven't recovered yet. I don't want you to be hurt. I'll use the true devil blood plate. It is a Dharma treasure refined by the devil race. Its sturdiness goes without saying." Immediately, a large amount of demonic light appeared. At the same time, a 10,000-meter-long sword appeared in the sky. It was a king-grade flying sword. This was terrifying. With the power of this sword, let alone a cultivator like Su Fong, even a young soul cultivator would be killed by the flying sword. A mountain would be razed to the ground in an instant, and an empire would be reduced to dust in an instant. At this moment, the sword's shadow seemed to want to split the sky, and the water Su Fong was in apart. Swoosh! A demonic disc sucked Su Fong in, transforming into a 30-meter true devil blood plate. Swish! High up in the sky above the water, there was only the huge sword and the true devil blood plate releasing devil chi. The two Dharma treasures, one above and one below, one righteous and one evil, dominated the sky above the water. Clang! The 30,000-meter-long sword transformed into a golden flying sword and struck the true devil blood plate. If it was Su Fong, he would have already been turned into mincemeat. The true devil blood plate was shaken by the golden flying sword. It didn't seem as fierce and domineering as a flying sword, nor was it a peerless offensive Dharma treasure. However, it was as firm as Mount Tai. After shaking for a moment, it immediately clashed with the golden flying sword. Clang! Clang! Under their control, the two Dharma treasures clashed, killed, and clashed with each other. Each clash produced a shocking amount of sparks. Looks like I've underestimated the true devil blood plate. It's not a Tao artifact, and looks like an ordinary king-grade Dharma treasure. However, it came from the devil race, so it's really powerful. Within the devil chi space, Su Fong looked at the domineering golden flying sword that wanted to shatter the true devil blood plate. A moment ago, his heart was thumping, but now it calmed down. This was because the true devil blood plate had blocked the golden flying sword's attacks. It wasn't any weaker than a king-grade flying sword. After several clashes, Su Fong wanted to use the true devil blood plate to escape or enter the water. However, the golden flying sword was constantly attacking, so there was no chance for him to leave. After a while, the two Dharma treasures' attacks caused a bloody storm in the calm water. Many underwater creatures were shaken to death. Swish! Suddenly, a figure appeared above the golden flying sword. Hearing the commotion, Su Fong took a closer look. It It was actually the old man who had used his yuan spirit to kill him twice before. He should be an elder of the myriad treasure path. However, this wasn't his true body, but a 1-meter-long illusory body with a large number of runes. Young nascent soul. After asking the Green Feather King, Su Fong learned that this old man's form was actually a young nascent soul that only a young nascent soul could control. The young nascent soul could leave the body. It could absorb spiritual chi and control Dharma treasures on its own. It seemed that the legend was true. The old man had used his young nascent soul to control the golden flying sword and suppress the true devil blood plate. I'm an elder of the myriad treasure path, Chao Chu. Looks like you're not a disciple of the immortal sealing sect. The young nascent soul old man flashed and grabbed the golden flying sword. An elder of a major power had personally come to deal with Su Fong, a longevity disciple, who was a disciple of the immortal sealing sect. I am an expert of the devil Tao. Due to the change in heaven and earth, I reincarnated. Haha, Chao Chu, who do you think you are? My cultivation was once much stronger than yours. It seemed that the other party wasn't sure of his identity. Su Fong could also get rid of the trouble from the immortal sealing sect. This way, not only would he complete his mission, but he would also save the immortal sealing sect some trouble. Chao Chu immediately controlled the golden flying sword. Ancient devil, this isn't your world. You dare to look down on my myriad treasure path just because of a devil artifact? So what if I am? Su Fong laughed hoarsely. Imperial sword art. After Chao Chu's young nascent soul formed a hand seal, the golden flying sword in his hand suddenly broke free and spun in the air. Clang! What a powerful sword art. The golden sword images hit the true devil blood plate one after another. Each time they hit, there would be flames. He was worried that the golden sword images would shatter the true devil blood plate. If this continues, I can still escape. The true devil blood plate could only defend. It was inferior to the golden flying sword in terms of offense. Brat, the longer you drag this out, the myriad treasure path's elder, Chao Chu's true body, and the myriad treasure path's experts will come. At that time, you'll be miserable. The myriad treasure path is a refining sect. They might have some forbidden art that can suppress the true devil blood plate. At this moment, Green Feather King hurriedly told Su Fong to flee. He didn't want to fight with Chao Chu. I also want to, but this person is too strong. His speed and offense are far above mine. It's already good that I can survive. The heavenly devil disintegration seal you cultivate comes from the true devil blood plate. The devil artifact also contains the heavenly devil book's essence. You should use all your strength to activate the true devil blood plate to use the heavenly devil disintegration seal. Do your best to injure Chao Chu's young nascent soul. His young nascent soul is a combination of soul, consciousness, and yuan spirit. Chapter 282. Then I'll do my best. The golden flying swords continued to attack the true devil blood plate. Although it was incomparably sturdy, Chao Chu's true body would soon arrive, as well as the myriad treasure path's experts. At that time, even if the true devil blood plate was a peerless treasure that could protect Su Fong forever, the myriad treasure path might have a way to seal the true devil blood plate. If they sealed the true devil blood plate forever, Su Fong would also be sealed. Thinking of this, Su Fong ordered the 24 young soul slaves to fuse with him. He hated himself for not being in the undead realm. Even if he was in the undead realm, he would be able to fuse more of their energy. Chao Chu, I'll make you regret this. No matter how strong your yuan spirit is, you'll never be able to imagine how powerful the true devil blood plate is. After absorbing the power of a large number of powerhouses and slaves, he controlled the true demonic blood plate to create a large number of sword shadows. The moment he left the true demonic blood plate, he used his Yang Soul Realm strength to activate the heavenly demon disintegration seal, using the true demonic blood plate's origins as the main force. I'll take you down right now. Chao Chu, who was controlling the golden flying swords, grabbed them once more and charged over. You're just a reincarnated devil path expert. You're nothing in front of me. Heavenly Devil Yuan Spirit. Buzz. The true devil blood plate suddenly shook once more. Devil energy flowed out along with Su Fang's heavenly devil disintegration seal. The two energies fused together, and Su Fang felt his Yuan spirit split into over 100 copies. It wasn't the same as before. Whoosh! More than 100 heavenly fiend essence souls were propelled by the true fiend blood plate and the heavenly fiend disintegration seal. Su Fang felt that he could kill any existence around him with just his will. Impossible! Chao Chu was just about to use his sword to shake off the true devil blood plate, and then suppress Su Fang when he saw a large amount of devil figures pouring out of Su Fang's body. He was so shocked that he couldn't close his mouth. Ordinary people couldn't control such a large amount of Yuan spirits. He was a big shot of the myriad treasure path. How could he retreat now? His young soul released a terrifying aura. Yuan spirit fusion, heavenly devil invincible. All of a sudden, the 100 over nascent divinities that Su Fang had separated from Chao Tsuyang suddenly merged back into one. He thrust out his palm and clashed with Chao Tsuyang's nascent aura. Tut tut tut, the wind and clouds stirred. It wasn't a clash of strength, but rather a clash of will and primordial spirit. No, your primordial spirit is only in the immortal state. How can you fight against me? When Chao Tsuyang's nascent soul's aura was shattered, most of the power of Su Fang's heavenly devil nascent divinity was also depleted. Su Fang's Yuan divinity grabbed again and punched Chao Chu's young nascent soul. This attack was too terrifying and sent Chao Chu's young nascent soul flying 10,000 meters away. It almost dissipated along the way and turned into ashes. I want your sword as well. After severely injuring Chao Chu's young nascent soul, Su Fang took advantage of the fact that Chao Chu was still unable to recover and attacked the golden flying sword that was hovering above. Because Chao Chu's will was collapsing, he was temporarily unable to control the flying sword. This gave Su Fang a chance to take advantage of this loophole. Senior Rock King. Of course, how could a longevity disciple suppress a royal-grade flying sword? Moreover, it was a magic treasure controlled by a giant. While pushing the true demon blood plate to its limit and suppressing the flying swords, Su Fang asked Green Feather King for help. Green Feather King floated in the profound yellow space and spat out a stream of demonic aura. It fused with the profound yellow aura and shot out from the pagoda door. Su Fang then used the true demon blood plate's aura to cover the demonic aura and hit the golden flying sword. The demonic aura then wrapped around the flying sword. With the true demon blood plate, Xianhuang's Six Paths Pagoda, Green Feather King, and Su Fang's combined power, the golden flying sword was sucked into the profound yellow space. Seal. The golden flying sword had just entered the profound yellow space when Green Feather King, a peerless almighty who was beyond the young nascent soul realm, spat out a large amount of demonic aura. With a grab, the demonic aura in the hand turned into layers of demonic light seals that wrapped around the golden flying sword. Chi! The sword aura and flying sword were wrapped by the demonic aura. A sword spirit floated above the sword and absorbed the sword aura of the flying sword. It then spat out sword lights to attack the demonic aura. What a powerful royal-grade flying sword. Mo Fengjun, Zuifeng, Xiahou Ling, Peng Yanjin, Gao Cheng, Wu Wei, and the other servants of the big shots, as well as the commanders, were also seeing Green Feather King make a move for the first time. However, when a flying sword reached the royal grade, it was a royal grade Dharma treasure. Even a young nascent soul realm expert could not fully activate the power of a royal grade Dharma treasure. Especially when they saw the sword spirit of the flying sword appear, they all exclaimed. Peng Yanjin exclaimed, "This is our sect's elder Chao Chu's reversing golden light sword. It is a royal grade Dharma treasure that the myriad treasure path forged 10,000 years ago. The sword spirit has also been brewing for thousands of years. Although this flying sword is not a peak royal grade Dharma treasure, the sword spirit is still very powerful. Instant teleportation talisman. Outside, after putting away Chao Chu's flying sword, Su Fong decisively flashed into the true demon blood plate. The true demon blood plate entered the water. Master, who? The true demon blood plate entered the water, and a demonic light shot out of Su Fong's body. It was one of the 6 commanders, the Leech King. The Leech King sucked the true demon blood plate into his mouth, and Su Fong came out of the true demon blood plate. At the same time, he ordered, "The Myriad Treasure Path's experts will definitely use all kinds of methods to search for me in this water region. Go into the depths of the water region first. Even if they find you, they won't be able to deal with you in time." "Yes, Master. This is the water region. Just leave it to me." The Leech King's true body was over 30 meters long. He was like a crocodile swimming into the depths of the water, within the profound yellow space. Su Fong could finally relax. When he arrived in the space, all the big shot's servants came to welcome him. As for Green Feather King, he was suppressing the reversing golden light sword spirit. The sword spirit was very powerful. It repeatedly shot out sword chi, breaking the demonic chi seal. When Green Feather King saw Su Fong, he bitterly smiled. This king has been suppressed by the immortal sealing gate for 10,000 years. He's not even half as strong as he was back then. Suppressing this sword spirit will be a bit difficult. Su Fong quickly walked forward and shouted, "Reversing golden light sword, you're still not obedient." Green Feather King shook his head. "Impossible. The reversing golden light sword has a master. It's not a magic treasure without a master. Chao Chu will be its master. It won't listen to you. Then it's simple. Not obedient, right?" Su Fong suddenly grabbed with his left hand. With a whoosh, the primordial chaos sage appeared in his hand. "Your grandfather's." The reversing golden light sword wasn't frightened, but Green Feather King was frightened. He didn't seem like an antique at all. He hastily dodged to the side. "What's wrong?" Most of the other servants didn't know what was going on. Only the 5 commanders knew. Like Green Feather King, they hastily retreated. "That's a peerless magic treasure that can suppress any big goblin. It's not a king-grade magic treasure. It's at the very least a king-grade magic treasure from a great world." Flying Tiger King explained to everyone. Su Fong held the primordial chaos sage while the reversing golden light sword was suppressed by Green Feather King. However, after Green Feather King left, the sealed demonic aura was quickly shattered by the sword chi. Swoosh! The reversing golden light sword broke free from its shackles. The entire flying sword looked like a golden sword body as it flashed with astonishing sword chi. Sword spirit, you are not obedient. I specialize in beating up dishonest fellows. Are you not convinced? I'll beat you until you are. Activating the primordial chaos sage. The mirror shone at the reversing golden light sword. The reversing golden light sword knew that Su Fong was the owner of the magic treasure space and wanted to kill Su Fong. However, the moment it shot out sword chi, the primordial chaos sage spewed out 9 Yang true fire. This 9 Yang true fire was different and immediately swept toward the reversing golden light sword. The reversing golden light sword didn't seem to fear the primordial chaos sage. After all, the primordial chaos sage was nothing special. Apart from being able to spit fire, it didn't have a majestic aura like other magic treasures. However, the sword spirit still felt the terror of the 9 Yang true fire. With a clang, it immediately dodged the 9 Yang true fire. However, when it moved, it realized that it couldn't move. This scene made Flying Tiger Monarch, Green Feather Monarch, and other powerful demons feel a sense of familiarity. Green Feather Monarch was an expert of the rock race. His face was dark. The primordial chaos sage was a shadow that he could never erase. Chi. The moment the reversing golden light sword froze, the 9 Yang true fire engulfed it. Dharma treasure versus Dharma treasure. I wonder if that ancient mirror can suppress the reversing golden light sword. The reversing golden light sword is a famous Dharma treasure in our myriad treasure path. Only elders can wield a peerless Dharma treasure at the king grade. All the servants widened their eyes in curiosity. Buzz, buzz. The reversing golden light sword kept releasing sword chi in the 9-yang true fire. It struggled to break free from the formless solidification. About 3 breaths later, boom, boom. The reversing golden light sword's sword chi began to lose control as it trembled and danced wildly. In an instant, a large number of sword runes, spirit inscriptions, and all kinds of handprints gradually surged out of the sword. A portion of the reversing golden light sword also began to melt, gradually turning into a golden liquid. Melted. This was not the reversing golden light sword's self-formed form. Instead, it was melted by the 9-yang true fire that the primordial chaos saint spat out. A royal-grade celestial artifact could not withstand the 9-yang true fire. Moreover, it melted the Dharma treasure within a few breaths. The handprints, spirit inscriptions, and sword runes that spread out proved this point. Under the burning of the 9-yang true fire, the reversing golden light sword had begun to be destroyed. The restrictions and quality inside were melting. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. I only formed a sword spirit after 10,000 years, and I have devoured the sword chi essence of thousands of swords. Seeing that there was still a portion in the middle of the reversing golden light sword that had not melted, a trembling sword light condensed in the middle again. It begged Su Fong like a child. Su Fong nodded domineeringly. He had never doubted the power of a chaos essence saint. Take this opportunity to force out the Dharma seal that you fused with Chao Chu, as well as his blood chi. From today onwards, the owner of the reversing golden light sword will no longer be Elder Chao Chu of the Myriad Treasure Path. Buzz, buzz. Under Su Fong's control, the 9-yang true fire weakened a lot. The reversing golden light sword also stopped melting. The sword spirit spat out a layer of blood chi and various handprints. Within the blood chi, a blurry figure began to appear. Chao Chu, an elder of the Myriad Treasure Path. Elder Chu's will. The 21 servants of the Myriad Treasure Path were frightened by the old man who condensed blood chi. They were both respectful and afraid because he was an existence that oversaw the Myriad Treasure Path. Burn. Su Fong flicked his finger, and a roll of 9-yang true fire swallowed the blood chi and a large number of handprints. With a boom, they all shattered and turned into dust. Mo Fongjun. Su Fong looked at Mo Fongjun. Master. Mo Fongjun flashed over. The Supreme Demon King, Wan Mo, and Leech King each have a good King Grey Dharma artifact. Last time, I promised you that I would find a King Grey Dharma artifact for you. I don't know if this reversing golden light sword is good enough for you. Master, you gave this Dharma artifact to me. The quality of the reversing golden light sword is already very amazing, especially the sword spirit, which is more mature than the origin spirit of an ordinary King Grey Dharma artifact. This is a Dharma artifact that every young soul cultivator dreams of. At this moment, Mo Fongjun felt like he was still in a dream. Not only him, but the young soul servants behind him were also shocked. Then they were filled with envy. Su Fong looked at Mo Fongjun like a giant from the sky. Yes, the reversing golden light sword will be your Dharma artifact in the future. Fuse with it while the 9-yang true fire burns. Chapter 283. Thank you, Master. Mo Fongjun was extremely touched. Such a peerless treasure was exactly what he had dreamed of. He didn't expect Su Fong to be so generous as to give it to him. Condensing his blood chi and hand seals, Mo Fongjun pushed his blood chi towards the reverse golden light sword. This is your new master. Fuse. Su Fong ordered the reverse golden light sword. Buzz. The reversing golden light sword could only obey obediently. Otherwise, it would be completely refined into dust by the primordial chaos saint. When Mo Fongjun's blood chi was fused with the reverse golden light sword, Su Fong put away the origin saint and let Mo Fengjun slowly fuse with the flying sword. He then waved his hand, and 7 Yang soul slaves walked out. The 7 of you are the last ones I suppressed. In the future, listen to Peng Yanjin, Gao Cheng, and Wu Wei's orders. You will no longer have the myriad treasure Dao in your lives. This subordinate will be loyal to master. The 7 Yang soul slaves could only accept their fate. Glancing at the 14 Yang soul realm experts, including Peng Yanjin, Gao Cheng, and Wu Wei, Su Fang had suppressed 21 Yang soul realm experts from the myriad treasure Dao. Inconceivable. This number was a shocking number in the eyes of any major force in the Zhuo Tian domain. The 21 slaves range from Yang Soul Stage 2 to Yang Soul Stage 6. Most of them were at Yang Soul Stage 4 or Yang Soul Stage 5. Although none of them had reached Mo Fengjun's Yang Soul Stage 7, their combined strength had long surpassed their own cultivation. He then summoned the other immortal disciples. Previously, he suppressed 63 people, and the last time, he suppressed 25 people. In total, he seized 88 immortal disciples from the myriad treasure Dao. In the end, the myriad treasure Dao generously gave Su Fang a big gift, 109 experts. Above the water region, a vague figure appeared. He was only the size of a 5 or 6-year-old child, but his appearance was that of an old man. Myriad treasure Dao Elder Chao Chu. His Yang soul spewed out a shocking aura, which turned into a door. A lot of aura poured into the door. With a buzzing sound, a silhouette broke through the air and appeared in front of the door of wonder. Return. The figure that appeared was Chao Chu's true body. He shouted at the Yang soul and immediately entered his head. After a few breaths, a large number of myriad treasure Dao experts appeared around the door. Elder, everyone respected Chao Chu. Who would have thought that I, Chao Chu, who had dominated the outstanding heaven realm, would not only suffer heavy injuries to my young infant, but even my reverse-killing golden light sword was forcefully taken away by the opponent. Chao Chu gestured for everyone to quiet down. He looked at the water below, and a shocking aura gushed out from him as he formed seals. My magic treasure is not something you can take away just because you want to. His aura followed the afterglow of the door and escaped in all directions. It seemed that the door was not only used to guide the masters of the myriad treasure path to find him, but also had other uses. After a while, Chao Chu's gaze became fixed. The person is just below this body of water. Activate the water-type transcendent artifact and follow this aura. We can't let him leave the water. Yes. After everyone received the order, some people condensed frost chi talismans and entered them, turning them into ice that fell into the water. Some people activated their magic treasures, and a few people rode their magic treasures, slowly heading towards the distant water region. Chao Chu used his senses and led a group of people to accurately locate Su Fang's position. Fortunately, the natural waters restrained the power of humans. Otherwise, he could instantly locate Su Fang's position. In the deep water world, the Leech King slowly swam. Even here, with its cultivation, it was still the overlord of the water region. In the mysterious yellow space, Su Fang and the servants were resting. Through the mysterious yellow space, they absorbed the spiritual energy of heaven and earth. With the help of the aphrodisiac pill, pure yuan pill, and other resources, everyone was recovering. Even the Green Feather King was adjusting his breath to suppress the reverse-killing golden light sword. Only Su Fang's condition was the best. He did not consume any energy. Only his primordial spirit was overused. Fortunately, the true demon blood plate could release the origin aura of the heavenly demon book. Cultivating the heavenly demon book with him, his primordial spirit was constantly recovering. During this period, Su Fang also felt the Tao runes of the heavenly secret life shrinking technique, which appeared around his divine aperture from time to time. This meant that the masters of the myriad treasure path were looking for him. With the Leech King in the deep water world, even Gao Chongyang could not do anything to it. Su Fang and the servants could cultivate quietly. In this underwater world, inside the transcendent artifact, time passed quickly. No one knew exactly how much time had passed. At this moment, in another world far away from the Starfish Sky Island, Crimson Firmament Continent, Celestial Ceiling Sect, one of the 7 grotto heavens, Frozen Moon Grotto Heaven, was in the space above the celestial heavens. In a majestic giant mountain, dozens of powerful upper echelons of Frozen Moon Grotto Heaven gathered in the main hall. Yin Kaifeng was one of them. Many of the upper echelons looked at her from time to time. At the top of the main hall, there was a man in his 30s. His face was like jade, and his long hair flowed naturally behind his back. He waved his hand, and everyone looked at him. It's been a few years. The mission has been completed for a few years. I sent my divine consciousness to Heavenly Treasure Royal City to find out the latest news from the person in charge of the Chamber of Commerce. They did not have any news about Su Fong, and Heavenly Treasure Royal City is no longer sealed. The Heavenly Treasure Royal City has returned to normal. A woman below nodded. This can only mean 2 things. They have captured Fong Yu, or they have killed him. If Fong Yu is still alive, he should have returned to the Crimson Firmament Continent. Since this transcendent artifact came from the Xinjia Gate, what if Fong Yu is still alive and well? What if he just left with the treasure? He betrayed the sect. The surrounding people could not help but hold their breaths. Their eyes were stern, with some killing intent. As the person in charge of Fong Yu, Yin Kaifeng was once again the center of attention. After a while, Yin Kaifeng responded, "Junior sister, I don't know the exact situation. There are countless possibilities in this mission. Senior brother said before that the Myriad Treasure sect had mobilized more than 100,000 disciples, and even the elders were mobilized in order to capture Fong Yu. This proves that even if anyone were to carry out this mission, there would be no chance of completing it. Junior sister, no one here blames you." The middle-aged man above gestured for Yin Kaifeng to sit down. Historically, any transcendent artifact that comes from the Xinjia Gate will attract the attention of any major forces, and they will do everything they can to obtain it. This mission is very unusual, and it concerns our relationship with the Myriad Treasures sect. Our sect has cooperated with the Myriad Treasures sect for many years. If there is any unhappiness, we will lose our influence on Starfish Heavenly Island. At present, it seems that the Myriad Treasures sect already believes that this incident was an accident and has nothing to do with our sect. They have already restored Heavenly Treasure Royal City. After hearing this, the crowd continued to discuss in private. Water region. Elder, what did you call us here for? In midair, Elder Chao Chu waited for a while, and many experts flew over from one side. They were all elites of the Myriad Treasures sect. There were more than a dozen of them, and all of them were at the young infant realm, but their strength was not very shocking. Chao Chu said, "My reverse-killing golden light sword was forcibly taken away by that demonic cultivator, and its aura is in these waters. Now that we have been in a stalemate for 10 years, I don't want to continue waiting like this. You have all condensed a sword spirit for the reverse-killing golden light sword, so you know it very well. My intention is to integrate your strength and use the heaven and earth sensing technique to accurately find the sword spirit's location." One of the experts was worried. Once the heaven and earth sensing technique is used, it will bring a great consumption to the young infant realm and cultivation. It will be difficult to recover without dozens of years. If it is serious, it will lead to a bottleneck and affect one's Tao heart. I am in charge of most of the sect's outer sect affairs. This time, I have to give the sect an explanation for what happened in the royal city. The treasure was not found, and the reverse-killing golden light sword was lost. How can I explain it? Fortunately, in this small world, no one can strip me of my fusion with the flying sword. It will always be my artifact. Since Elder has made up your mind, we will definitely do our best to use the array to sense the reverse-killing golden light sword's aura. Many thanks, everyone. Chao Chu, as an elder, actually bowed to everyone. This once again proved that these people's cultivations were not as strong as Chao Chu's, but they were all people with great backgrounds. Sword furnace. More than a dozen people immediately sat cross-legged. White smoke came out from the top of everyone's head as they formed seals. The white smoke merged above them and quickly turned into a huge furnace. It was a silver furnace that was about 15 meters tall. The sword furnace kept condensing, and countless sword chi floated inside. This was the supreme divine ability of sword chi. Heaven and earth sensing technique. Chao Chu suddenly pushed his hands apart, and the energy in his body naturally surged out. The surrounding space seemed to have turned into a divine image space, and the sky above the waters fell into a state of illusion. Buzz! Buzz! The sword furnace started to absorb the natural aura in the surroundings. Not long after, Chao Chu's eyes became infinitely empty. It was at this moment that some aura suddenly appeared in the waters below. It was like sword seedlings were growing. The sword furnace suddenly leaped up and entered the water. Bang! Spirit light exploded from the sword furnace, and it immediately transformed into a circular and magical sword array. Countless sword chi spun crazily and were then absorbed by Chao Chu's empty eyes. Chi! It's below. Chao Chu stopped forming seals and was pleasantly surprised. However, he was even more furious. He left a dozen experts behind and ordered countless formidable martial artists around to gather at the spot where the sword chi came from. The Heaven's secret life, shrinking techniques, Tao, runes suddenly sped up and increased in mysterious yellow space. Although the Su Fong was in the artifact space, the artifact was constantly absorbing the aura of heaven and earth. Therefore, the Heaven's secret life, shrinking technique, could also sense anything in nature that was related to the aura and fate of the Su Fong. He flew out of the mysterious yellow space and appeared in the Leech King's mouth. The moment he appeared, there were even more Tao runes in his mind. Chapter 284. The Aura of Nirvanic Extermination. Could it be that the life-shrinking technique and the increase in Tao runes have something to do with the fusion of the Nirvanic origin power? Old Su Fong's appearance changed from Fong Yu's to his original appearance. He actually turned from 23 years old to nearly 50 years old in an instant. If Su Fong had not been a cultivator for decades, he would have looked like this as well. However, he was a cultivator after all. After using the life-shrinking technique, his lifespan was once again depleted to such an extent. However, he wasn't in the mood to care about his appearance. Instead, he was immersed in the cold and silent atmosphere of the world. The Leech King swam deeper, taking advantage of the life-shrinking technique to cut off and conceal Su Fong's aura. The myriad treasure path experts chasing after him were probably also in a state of nirvanic extermination. This was the power of the life-shrinking technique. Su Fong felt a familiar energy disappearing from his body. He suddenly realized that the state of silence just now was actually the nirvanic origin power. According to the Green Feather King, the nirvanic origin power was incomparably powerful. No one could fuse with it and cultivate it. Origin power was rare and could only be produced by the birth of spiritual objects. Coincidentally, Su Fong had fused these two incomparably mysterious energies of nature, which led to the formation of the second Yang Meridian back then. Only now did he feel the existence and power of the nirvanic origin power again. It turned out that the nirvanic origin power was also helpful in cultivating the life-shrinking technique. The nirvanic origin power was a natural energy. The life-shrinking technique was a human's own energy. The fusion of the two energies seemed to contain the unity of heaven and man, the supreme truth of the Tao of nature. Why? The majestic wind stirred up the surface of the water, causing a large number of water splashes. A large number of myriad treasure path disciples fled in panic. Many experts also fell from the sky. Hundreds of people were injured at the same time. An old man covered in mist with blood flowing out of the corner of his mouth was the elder powerhouse, Chao Chu. He had also aged a lot. His face that was close to 80 years old had many wrinkles. He muttered to himself, "What kind of power can forcibly block my heaven and earth sensing technique? And from this moment on, I can't use it anymore. Not only me, but the disciples around me are also injured." The heaven and earth sensing technique is a peerless technique. As long as you can grasp a bit of its aura, you can fuse it with your divine image, borrow the formation, and use your young nascent soul to sense it. Just who is he? The reincarnation of the ancient devil? How could the ancient devil have such powerful techniques? The first training exercise is the Shinja Gate. The disciples of the three Tao of reverence will bring some of their elites to the Shinja Gate. Could it be that the sect's general election is about to begin? Then a new leader will be born, and the leader is about to transcend tribulation and ascend. The deadline hasn't been set yet, and the crown prince doesn't know what the leader is thinking. However, the leader has already reached a boundless level and will ascend sooner or later. Raising the next House Lord early on is also taking advantage of the future of the House Lord. Therefore, there will be a lot of big movements in the sect. The Crown Prince just has to seize the initiative in these changes, and when the time comes, you and I will naturally become elders. I'm really looking forward to it. The Crown Prince of the Qing Kingdom was shocked. In particular, the word elder caused his imagination to run wild. Who didn't want to become the most powerful person in the Celestial Sealing sect? Not only would they be able to obtain any resources they wanted, but their entire family would also be able to grow. Borrowing the resources of the Celestial Sealing sect, they would become a great family in the Zhuitian realm in the future. At this time, they had all forgotten about Feng Yu, a genius who had emerged in a short period of time, an opponent they cared about, but now he had fallen like a meteor. At this point, who would still remember him? Limitless Water Region, there were always a few experts of the myriad treasures Tao in the sky, flying by in twos and threes. They still held a bit of hope, wanting to find Su Feng's whereabouts in the Water Region. However, they were looking for Su Feng here. Where could they find him? Far away from the Starfish Sky Island, in the depths of the Water Region of the Crimson Firmament Continent. The Leech King was like a nightmare in the darkness, slowly swimming towards the Crimson Firmament Continent. Shenwang Space. The 24 Yang Soul servants and the 6 junior commanders were all cultivating. And on the central altar, Su Feng, who was sitting cross-legged, was still in a deep sleep. His head was lowered, and the aura of the dragon-subduing wood was still constantly pouring into his body. His appearance was naturally changing. Previously, he was in his 40s, but now he had returned to his 30s, which was still considered normal. How long has it been? Muttering to himself, he woke up the Shenhuang space that had been sealed. When Su Feng raised his head, there was only the vicissitudes of time in his eyes. Master, 10 years, another 10 years. The primordial spirit slowly appeared. 10 years, this mission took me 20 years. In these 20 years, I was still in the immortal stage 4. Adding on the consumption of my lifespan, when will I be able to break through to the immortal stage 5? Chapter 285. Celestial Sealing Sect, Frozen Moon Cave. What's going on? Yin Kaifeng was meditating in the main hall. Suddenly, there was movement in his body. He waved his hand, and a token appeared in his palm. After activating the token, the image of Su Feng appeared. Feng Yu, Yin Kaifeng immediately congealed a door of wonder and disappeared with it. In the ethereal Tao Hall, a Yang Ying's consciousness penetrated through many barriers and appeared in the space where Shuelong was. Shuelong seemed to be researching a great divine ability. When he suddenly saw the consciousness, he quickly bowed. Crown Prince Grand Elder. Prince Shui's Yangying was only 7 or 8 years old. I just received some insider news. Feng, you should still be alive. He's about to return to the Crimson Firmament Continent and wait for the higher-ups of Frozen Moon Cave to receive him. He's still alive. Shuelong staggered and hurriedly stood up. I spent a lot of effort to get the coordinates of his arrival on the continent. Go with the Crown Prince, and kill him immediately. Kill him, Grand Elder. We can't kill him now. Since the higher-ups of Frozen Moon Cave are going to receive him, we won't have the chance to kill him. It will be troublesome. No matter how influential our crown prince is, we can't openly kill a disciple of Frozen Moon Cave. Killing him is not just for Xue Qing, a prince of Great Qing. Then, the elders revealed that Feng Yu might have successfully completed his mission. He obtained the treasure that almost caused a bloodbath on Starfish Sky Island. I still don't understand Grand Elder's intentions. My goal is the treasure. That treasure came from Xinjia Gate. My intention is to obtain the treasure so that I can discover the secrets of Xinjia Gate in the future. If I can obtain that Dao artifact, not only will I become the leader of Celestial Sealing Sect, but I will also become the strongest person in Zhuotian Domain. Quickly hide your identities with the Crown Prince and go kill Feng Yu first. Yes, I understand. Shuelong's face was filled with killing intent. This matter must be done cleanly. Kill the enemy in one move and return with the treasure. I will ask the elders to think of a way to delay the higher-ups of Frozen Moon Cave. Prince Xue's yang immediately dissipated. It was as if he could come and go freely in this Dao Hall. Those who kill my Xue family members will not be able to survive. Shuelong immediately left the training hall. Moments later, the Crown Prince of the Qing Kingdom flew over from another part of the sky. The Crown Prince's expression was filled with anger and joy. After exchanging a few words with Shuelong, he entered a magical door. Water Body Su Feng left the group of islands and controlled the wind and fire dual spirit swords. At this moment, his body and mind were incomparably relaxed. He had finally returned alive. After a few breaths of time, a devilish bubble vanished, and Su Feng appeared at the peak of the mountain. Looking up, he said, "So the Crown Prince Society wants to kill me. Why didn't I think of that?" The Crown Prince Society. It was a powerful organization with deep roots in the House of Immortal Sealing. Many of the other organizations in the Zhua Heaven world knew about it. Now, he realized how terrifying the Crown Prince Society was. They had been able to track down his whereabouts, and then attack him before the higher-ups of the sect arrived. Thankfully, these two leaders had been hiding their auras and couldn't use their full strength. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been as lucky as he had been when he had escaped Chao Chu's pursuit. I've offended the Crown Prince Society. From now on, I'll have to be extremely careful when I go on missions in the House of Immortal Sealing. If the Crown Prince Society can kill me so brazenly, then they can do the same in the future. The myriad treasures Dao didn't give me such a heavy burden. For now, I need to avoid the Crown Prince Society. After a moment of hesitation, the command medallion began to move. Yin Kaifeng and the higher-ups of Frost Moon Paradise had arrived. They immediately unleashed the medallion's aura, and 3 breaths later, a group of people appeared. More than 30 young nascent soul experts appeared. They were the higher-ups of Frost Moon Paradise, and their cultivation bases were all at the peak of the Yang nascent soul realm. "You're injured." Yin Kaifeng appeared in front of Su Feng in a flash. He saw that Su Feng was covered in blood, and his vitality was extremely fake. His breath was weak and feeble. He flicked his finger and poured his mana and spiritual energy into Su Feng's body. "What's going on?" Many higher-ups of Frost Moon Paradise also rushed over. Su Feng said to everyone, "Disciple has been running around the various islands in the water region for more than 20 years. First, I was chased by the myriad treasures Dao. Then, I encountered all kinds of cultivators who wanted to steal my treasures. After countless dangers, I was able to return to the Crimson Firmament continent alive." Yin Kaifeng sighed. "It's not easy to come back alive. It's good that you're back." Suddenly, a will appeared from above, faintly in the shape of a human. "Senior Brother Elder." Dozens of people bowed. Su Feng lowered his head and remained silent. He thought to himself, "Elder, this person should be the supreme elder who controls Frost Moon Paradise. He's a peerless figure like Chao Chu." At that moment, King Green Feather suddenly spoke. "His name is Jin Chongkong. also known as Daoist Changkong. His name shakes the entire Zhuotian domain. He has cultivated for nearly 10,000 years and is a peerless existence that emerged in the house of immortal sealing. Back then, he was just an ordinary disciple. There was a vast land, a vast range of mountains and forests. Heavenly, immortal heaven, the 10,000 god seal of the celestial sealing sect, is indeed powerful. It can arrange the training field into several layers of space. Each layer of space is the same as nature. This is something that even a Yang Soul Realm powerhouse can't do. Flying between the mountains, Su Fong was curious about everything, especially the spirit chi of heaven and earth. It was more than twice as rich as the heavenly immortal heaven. If he cultivated here, his speed would be faster, and he would be more at ease. This heavenly immortal heaven space was the frozen moon grotto heavens area. Along the way, he could see mountains or valleys with different cave abodes floating in them. Heavenly immortal heaven disciples already had their own cave abodes. This was something that heavenly immortal heaven disciples couldn't compare with. Look at that blade-like mountain. It's called Blade Light Mountain. The higher-ups have decided to leave it to you. This training field was created by a heavenly immortal heaven expert for 1,000 years to reward genius disciples. From now on, Blade Light Mountain will be your training field. Suddenly, a huge mountain appeared above a large forest. It was a training field that looked like a saber resting on top of it. Blade Light Mountain. Su Fong would be the training field for this training field. Arriving at Blade Light Mountain, he saw that it was very large and had several palaces. There were also a few caves around it. It seemed they were also training cave abodes. Landing in front of the palace at the highest peak, Su Fong felt as if he was all alone. From here, he could see everything around him clearly. Yin Kaifeng said, "In the future, this Saber-Light Mountain will be your training ground. You can raise slaves, puppets, spirit beasts, or bring your clansmen here. But your clansmen must pass the sect's test before they can enter the training ground. I'm alone. I don't have any friends or clansmen. Sect Master, who will be in charge of my cultivation in the future?" Su Fong looked at Yin Kaifeng with certainty. "It's still me. Originally, when you came to the heavenly immortal heaven, there would be a new sect master to guide you. But the higher-ups have decided to let me continue to be in charge of you. If there's anything, just activate the medallion. The heavenly immortal heaven's sect masters have already gone to welcome you. The immortal heaven is another world. There's an earth ranking here that everyone fights for. I hope that you can stay here like you are in the immortal heaven. Quickly appear on the earth ranking. During this period, no one will disturb you. If there's a mission, I will inform you directly. Cultivate well and refine the runic talisman that the elder gave you. Once you fuse with it, your injuries will recover in a short period of time.